We're live. We're going live. Going live. Going live. Going live. Going once. Going twice. And we're live.
Hi.
Live.
Cool.
Going on. Get on that Facebook.
What up, people?
Son.
Yeah, I got
Post
you.
that shit up.
I got you, B.
We should open up the show like those gamers on YouTube. It's like, what up, guys? It's your boy.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It's your boy,
Skinny
Penis.
What up, what up?
Oh man. Oh, this is delicious. Holy shit.
Citradelic, yeah, it's
What?
Citradelic.
God damn.
Additional by
Where do you find this at?
Everett's.
No shit.
Everywhere, basically.
Are they open still?
What up, Johnny
Hey,
Spoon? Hey,
What
go
up?
check out Johnny Wishbone's YouTube channel. He's got his first video up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Excavator fun.
Hell yeah.
Nice, man. I
dude.
might have to check it out.
That's badass.
Let me know what you think of the intro. Not that I made it or anything, but like, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
Johnny.
Just drop it down a tone.
Just put it in a minor key.
That's exactly what I did. Damn it. Damn, we
Alright.
got 4
Four
viewers
people.
and 1 like.
God
What up,
damn.
what up?
Damn, B.
Well,
All right, so I liked our questions that we were doing for the episode,
Yeah.
and I had another one, and I can't fucking remember it now. It's gonna upset me because I had
is
another.
it more
good
about the
one.
dream stuff or like the
No,
biology stuff or?
I don't remember.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, I got one for you guys. If you could talk to one type of animal, just one, what would it be?
Dog.
Nah, I knew you'd be dog, you fucking pussy.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Dogs see the same shit every fucking day. We get to talk to them about. I mean, I love it because yeah, you can live with a dog and it's awesome. Like that's great. But
Yeah.
like at the same token, a dog's not seeing what a fucking dolphin can see or what a fucking eagle can see.
But you even if they could describe to you what they see or what their existence is through sight or sound and everything else, you wouldn't be able to fathom what they see.
That's bullshit. Yeah,
See,
you can.
I would say, all right, kind of going on the canine aspect. I would say wolf because who wouldn't want to fucking rule a wolf pack,
Dude.
That'd be the most badass shit ever.
A wolf pack, yeah.
fuck
Something
yeah.
like that. That'd
I
be
wanna talk to
fucking
some
sick.
wolves.
Or like a
I'm already a bear, so I don't really need to talk to bears.
Birds.
Bears.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Hey dog, do you really like peanut butter?
Gross.
Why you pick a dog? That's so boring and typical. Everybody picks a dog.
Because I'd already look
Fucking
crazy
lame.
talking to my dog, like
Fucking
just
lame.
in public. But
Nobody looks crazy talking to their dogs.
You know,
Dogs are adorable.
wouldn't that be
Everyone talks to
fucking
dogs.
It'd be weird to
sweet?
not talk to your dog like a person. You
Like,
know?
yeah, but like I feel like that would create such a way just a way better dynamic of that bond. Like it's an equivalency. I mean, naturally,
Killer whales, that's a good one.
killer whales, yeah, that'd be fucking crazy.
What about like I don't know, like a animal that's lived a really long time, like an
Like a
alligator.
tortoise.
yeah.
I talk to alligators. But
Yeah.
yo, hey,
A
quick
Nile
question for you, dog.
crocodile.
Why
They'd
are
be
you such a dick? Like all the time. Why are you just an
They're
asshole?
Like, hey, can you get this thing in my mouth? It's like way back here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would talk to something that goes in the ocean so I could learn more about the ocean. That's what I'm saying. Like I would do like a whale or a dolphin. Dolphins can't go that deep. So I'm gonna go whales or like the anglerfish.
See,
Like, yo, bro, I know you're really ugly, but like, and then what?
also they're fucking gigantic.
They're huge.
Yeah,
They're
I thought they were like this big at first.
no, they're like 4
Anglerfish
feet.
are like
Yeah.
huge. Freaks me out actually when I saw that.
Freaks me out, bro.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, I would pick.
Oh no!
Oh, dude.
Here we go again. I would pick something like that, something amphibious, or not amphibious, but something that, yeah, amphibious. That I would
Yeah.
go with. Yeah,
Going back to the axolotl
axolotl.
Axolotl.
man.
because they have nothing cool to talk about. They're like, yeah, I just exist.
I just, I'm here.
All I do is live and regenerate.
Yeah, you want to see something cool? For like 2 days, bro.
Watch this.
In about 48 hours, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
About 48 hours. This is gonna be fucking sick. All right. So I guess that was an easy one. That wait, did you said what you would talk to? The wolves, right, right.
Fuck yeah! Because if I can just command a wolf pack, that'd be the
pretty
most
sick.
badass, like
That'd be pretty
druid
sick.
looking shit ever.
All
I don't know.
right.
It's tough. That's a really tough answer or like question to
It
answer.
wasn't for you. You just picked dogs.
'Cause I would like to
Fucking
talk to
lame-o.
dogs.
You could talk to.
So would
snakes,
everybody-
anything.
Nah.
Just give it food. Much it. Your best.
No,
friends.
man. I want to go for some giant anaconda looking thing.
Anaconda.
Yeah.
Python.
Anacondas.
Anaconda.
Not an anaconda. And
Anaconda.
and dacondas.
Yeah.
Try to fuck it off.
Did you ever try doing
You
that?
try that? You might want to give that a shot. one of these days. Anaconda.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I think because I'm trying to think of things that I'd be able to process. So maybe like a bird, like some sort of bird, like a predatory bird.
Be cool.
Would be pretty dope.
What's it like to like eat shit off the
I
side
don't think
of
you
the
can do
road?
that because birds aren't real.
That's
Yeah,
true.
birds are.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why
then I
we're,
talk to robots.
It's
We
all-
gotta.
we're on
Wait,
quarantine.
where's the thirsty
Oh,
board?
there
he
Yeah,
is.
hold on. Yo, just walked through the woods and I was just thinking how consciousness and all. My question is this. Is consciousness generated by the brain as a whole, or is it simulated based on different parts of the brain working together? This is interesting because we brought
Yeah.
something up
Ooh.
in our most recent episode that we just recorded about subconscious brain activity, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that you bring that up. So the question here is consciousness generated by the brain as a whole or simulated based on different parts of the brain working together?
Yeah.
I think it's simulated based on different parts of the brain.
Yeah,
working
because
together.
without that synergy between all the different parts that control those different bits and pieces, I
Mhm.
don't think we'd be able to process things the way that we do.
Yeah.
Well,
that makes sense.
it's kind of proven that you're not activating your entire brain during every activity.
Absolutely.
right.
Like certain parts of your brain, like when you're drawing, it's not activating your entire brain
Mhm.
to create.
But there's
that.
very specific.
Yeah, there's very specific
it's-
parts that
yeah.
light up with neural activity.
It's like
Yeah.
a machine. Like if you don't have all the gears and parts together, then it's not going to all work together.
Right.
You know, it's not going to give you the same.
Whereas a
experience.
computer,
Yeah.
everything's working no
Yeah.
matter
Mhm.
what. I mean, it's on.
But it's also an
Work.
amalgamation of everything working
Yeah.
together at the same time.
But
it's an environment of
So-
itself.
something that's really interesting too is
So I would say different
what-
simulated parts working together.
No, most definitely. I think it's interesting that I wonder how we have that ingrained
What?
action.
What do you mean?
You know, when we'll use coloring. So you're coloring and your specific places in your brain are firing
Yeah.
for that creativity, for the imagination, for the color palette, like registering everything
Right.
and continuing through that muscle memory and skill that you've learned over time,
Right.
right? All those components are working together. At what point did that become a potential option to do? Like when did the brain kind of flip
Well,
that?
I think
that
it's always
trigger?
been in our species. It's always been that way.
Right.
I mean, look at cave drawings. It's the same exact thing. It was a more archaic type of it, but it was
Right,
still an art form in its purest
But
form.
what
So-
caused that ability to have all of those components fire at the same
So
time?
you
or
basically
in
mean at what
unison?
point did we go from fight, fuck, sleep,
Yeah,
or fight, fuck, shelter to fight, fuck, shelter and hobbies
yeah,
or other?
like
Conscious
like
passions.
primordial.
Yeah.
I would say
expanses, you know?
it would have had to have been maybe not in our most recent evolutionary
step.
step, but
Yeah.
I would say 2 steps probably.
Well, I kind of think that's kind of ingrained in us as well. Is
here's the
the
interesting-
creative factor is what actually caused us to survive in the first
Oh,
place.
I was going to say,
absolutely.
so
without that, we wouldn't have
Yeah.
survived. to
that's
begin
the
with.
crazy
So-
part though. At what point did the brain say like, or did evolution state that like, in order for us to survive as a species,
need to
we
do this.
have to do, because it's not just, okay, we have to learn to, I don't know, fucking draw and shit like that,
Yeah.
or, communicate with people in the future. But at what point did our evolutionary trait go, in order to survive, we have to be able to do all kinds of crazy shit like building and, and all this other stuff. What do you say?
Yeah, when quarantine gets boring.
Everything is an idea based off another idea. Where does creativity originate and how? Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. But so back on mine is like,
Imagination.
I'll get on that in a second. But like at what point did evolution go, okay, now we need all of these things that has created what we are now? Like going from the basic, you don't see wolves out there creating fucking towns. You don't
Right.
see wolves out there like building bridges and shit like that.
Yeah.
So at what point did our evolutionary traits say that is what is going to make us survive, is having that ability? Or is it that evolution thought in order for us to survive, because we're so weak in every other aspect compared to any other species on Earth, we have to have the superior brain
Yeah.
in order for us to survive? So is it the brain as a whole that it said it needed to evolve to be able to expand the knowledge
Right.
and have a consciousness? and that's our ability to survive because we're so weak comparative to anything else.
Well, I think
We don't have the strength of any of
absolutely
most
not.
other animals.
No.
You know, we don't have the sight of most other
Yeah,
animals.
without tool use,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be on the top.
We have opposable thumbs, and that's kind of what
Cool.
helps put us up there. But yeah,
Can
for
climb
sure.
trees pretty well. But no, I think
Some of us can.
well, yeah, some of us. I think
I just break the branches.
a lot of it, but I think a lot of that is that the reason why we're able to have those abilities to create things and to have that perspective of what could potentially be his imagination.
Too deep. Let's get back to dogs.
You know, but when did that distinction happen between us getting that kind of sentience of imagination and being able to predict things down the road, or okay, this isn't going to turn unless I have enough torque, so I'm going to create a tool that creates torque that I can't get with just using my fingers.
It's our ability to predict. That's all.
Exactly.
It's just
So
yeah.
when did that prediction, which a lot of the times isn't a repeated process, okay? So at one point, we didn't think we're going to make more than one wheel, okay?
How did we create hypotheses basically in our brain?
And where did that distinction happen to where we were able to start doing that, to where that imagination and that mentality of prediction became
And when
real?
we're, yeah,
And then
reasoning.
why did dogs not get that?
Or like reasoning?
Yeah.
Like like
It's
what
because
Johnny
we
said,
were-
how did we, you know, what gave us the ability for reasoning? But here's the other thing too. We don't know, you know, there could have been several branch offs
Oh, yeah.
of evolutionary trait that had the opportunity to survive of what is now the human. You know, there could have been several other types of branch offs where they
Could have had
had
claws.
different, they had different evolutionary traits to
Yeah.
them, but they didn't survive because they were not the superior species. And we're the ones that did survive because obviously, this trait worked. This one is what worked. This is what helped us. This is what solved, you know, our issue.
He's got a point.
Mathematic formula, which is a paradox of which we live. You can't keep dividing a number by 2. It will go into infinity. There's no origin. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
It's-
it's just very
math.
interesting. And why does I mean, it's almost like evolution itself has its own consciousness because it's deciding what species is
Well,
getting what in
and
its next trait.
You know,
I
and
mean, and
I
that's obviously it's just down to a level of DNA. And,
Yeah.
and-
right. And
but what is the deciding fact? What in our DNA is deciding we need that?
exposure.
Like what decides for an animal that it needs to, like a lizard decides for that animal that it needs to be able to survive in heat?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
think it's-
what is the, you know, are we telling our genes like this is how we need to adapt now?
Yeah.
Or our DNA like this is how we need to adapt? Like, it's weird how that happens.
It
how
is- it
how
is
the
super
body
fucking
just
Yeah,
weird.
works.
it's almost like
with that.
mutation is life
Yeah.
by itself.
And like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
sort of mutations are we going through as we speak?
Yeah. Like what are we
What
going to
will be
see
our
in
next
3 or 4
evolution?
generations?
What's our next
Yeah.
evolution? is
Yeah,
what I'm
what's our
curious
next
about. What would
step?
you guys want to be the next evolution for
I think our
humans?
next step is
Ooh.
honestly, I think the one that we're closest to, and this is going to sound fucking
Yeah.
crazy and sci-fi, but I think the step that we are
Big brain.
currently closest to is
Shared consciousness.
no is what am I
There's
trying
a
to think of?
specific term.
eternal life.
Mhm.
Ooh,
I think that's our next evolutionary step. I think that we're closest to achieving, at least.
Actually, I don't know, because what about that thing that that Elon's doing?
The
brain implant
Neuralink
thing? Yeah, the Neuralink thing.
Oh yeah,
What if that brings us closer to like a shared consciousness?
but again,
situation?
that's eternal. That's I mean, once you go on,
Yeah, once you're
once
uploaded.
you're uploaded, you're eternal.
You're a file.
You never become
Yeah.
not. Every picture you ever take is forever on the internet.
Ooh, I
Every
mean, that's already.
every
It is an
conscious-
archive, man.
Every consciousness ever imprinted is
There's
forever on the
no
internet.
delete button.
You can't escape the dick pics.
So it's like a Pharaoh mentality. So even if we all die, we're still going to be floating around somewhere. Not
Yeah,
us, but
exactly,
as it is.
exactly. Like we're literally, it's not. It like Thirst is putting it perfectly. Like it's a stumble in evolution. Like
Chaos on chaos,
it's
man.
it's just chaos. Chaos is forming life.
Well, you
basically,
can't really evolve when you're already the most evolved thing on the planet. So like, where do you go from there?
Why not? You can
Well,
continue to evolve.
without
Here's
without
the-
self-induced.
here's the thing. Okay,
You
so-
can, but it's going to be like a
so
much longer process.
why would it-
You know, 'cause
why
you're
would
not
it-
fighting creatures or whatever.
No,
So
and it's-
so now we say, okay, now what's to say that it's not this? It's no longer about survival. It's about easier life. You know, making life easier.
Yeah.
Or you know, and what's to
Yeah.
say the world doesn't change? Sphere rising. So now our bodies have to, or our species has to slowly evolve to
Yeah.
adapt to allowing more CO2 in the atmosphere.
And that's actually what I was
Now,
gonna,
does it kill us off before that happens? Maybe.
that's actually kind of what I'm getting to as well, because what if our bodies are waiting to evolve until we figure out how the world is going to be in the next however many decades? Because like the world may always be
Like,
changing,
do you think it?
but
do
the
you
world's
think-
changing so
do you think
rapidly
it-
nowadays that we can't keep up with the evolution.
I don't think that
Yeah.
it can consciously, like, decide to pause evolution.
No, it's an ever ongoing.
Like, we're gonna
thing.
forever
Yeah.
have mutations in DNA and in genes and everything like that. Now, here's the other crazy part about that is, and this is something that I've always wondered, and it could be a far off like farce that I'm thinking of, but
Right.
things like cancer
Mhm.
or mental disabilities, stuff like that, right? Where you have people who are savants in certain things, stuff like that too. What if those, like, so for cancer, what if that is a gene mutation in people that is maybe evolution gone wrong? Like it's a trait that was passed down, right?
Mhm.
Let's say it's a hereditary gene that was passed down, or it's our genes mutating inside of us that are become, oh shit, that didn't work, and now we've just killed this. We've
Yeah.
killed this specimen, or
Mhm.
stuff like savants and everything like
Specimen.
that. What if that is a step in an evolutionary direction? Like, what if it's now the body, like, so this person, right? They're born and they are a savant, right? And say it's a creative, like the guy that can literally look. He did a flyover in a helicopter of New York City once, and he was able to recreate New York City for scale by drawing it.
Yeah.
Perfectly. He was a savant and he was able to do it. They did a whole documentary on this guy, right?
Yeah.
What if that is evolution stating, okay, he like basically testing out, like, okay, well, maybe we don't need these parts of the brain as much as we need that part for, say,
Yeah.
memory and for creativity and stuff. Maybe we need more of this and less of this. And then it goes, oh, okay, well, maybe we don't. It's just weird to think of, like, are those defects or are they evolution testing out theories?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know
I
what
mean, like that is a really interesting way to look at it.
17 minutes late. What up,
It just-
James?
Like I don't think it's in the idea of consciousness through evolution. I don't think it's so much as like a populace, like a trial and error period where there is like specimens. And that's why I laughed, because I was like, that is a really good way to describe it. It's more so along exposure on individuals and individual gene pooling. So I feel like people that live in the desert,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they're going to have way different oil ducts and different skin than we would living here in the Midwest where it's cold as fuck.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
There's things that develop and evolve over time. I mean, there's entire tribes that the muscles naturally grow thicker in the
Yeah.
backs of their necks to support
Yeah.
boats, because
Yeah.
hundreds of generations have been carrying boats.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
or people in the Arctic that have extra layers on their eyelids.
Individual
Well,
portions
it's
for
the same.
external
It's the same
stimulus.
thing of like skin color, where it's like the closer you were to the equator,
Yeah.
the darker your skin naturally had to become
to fight
in
the
order
UV.
for you to fight or to reflect the heat.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what it. I mean, it's an evolutionary trait. That's
Yeah.
all it was. It was just a survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so Thirst says, I don't need to tell all of you I have high functioning Asperger's, but I could see it being an evolution due to the lack of need for social tribalism. So something like that.
Ooh.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Where it's our brain is now or not our brain, but if evolution is now deciding that, okay, we no longer need this part. With this part of the brain can evolve and become something different.
right.
And what about this too? What if it doesn't, it's not necessarily taking the function of that part of the brain away, so like stuff in Asperger's where they have trouble communicating,
Yeah.
right? It's not necessarily taking that away, but it's temporarily putting that one in the background and saying, okay, let's pull back on this one and let's focus more on, savant style, or expertise in math or expertise in creativity.
Right.
And then the next step we'll figure out what that part of the brain is going to do next. Like that's going to do something different now. This used to control, communication. Now this might control, our vision, and it controls a little bit more. Now our eyes are becoming bigger so we can see more clearly, stuff like that. So what if it's just the brain's mapping is completely changing as well in savant and stuff like that?
Yeah.
What's that say?
But I make people laugh with my Asperger's. Nice.
Good shit.
Love it. So yeah, it's stuff like that too, where
Yeah.
it's, what if that But that's what I'm thinking is, what if it's an evolutionary thing that's happening? It's a step in an evolutionary trait because we've never really seen evolution taking place because it's such a slow process.
Absolutely.
So we don't know
Well,
what it looks like.
The only thing that has changed.
Asperger's thick.
the only thing that I've heard of in the last, I think, like 8 generations that at least has been for me in my exposure, that I found to be an evolutionary change is newer generations, like the generation 2 after us, aren't growing. They don't have tendon.
Yeah.
They don't have tendons that are primarily used for grip strength.
Oh, I still got mine.
Yeah. Most of us.
But there's hundreds of thousands of kids that are being born that don't have that.
Yeah, but there's still but then even if you're gonna play off that, you have hundreds of thousands of people that are older than us and our age who are double jointed.
Oh yeah.
Why do you have that? Why do you have a double jointed some and double jointed not? You know, it's just weird. It's all weird.
But I feel like there's a lot of variables that tie into that because it is gene based. You know, obviously that's going to change as you intermingle within a gene pool. So you're going to be getting traits and
right.
skills.
You're getting the chromosomes from
Absolutely.
Your mother and your father, and so on.
It's
and so
a chaotic
From your
pool of trial and error. And I don't necessarily think it's like one generation. Okay, so we'll use autism. One generation is born autistic. And now if that generation were to breed again and have another generation, the statistics are way higher for that next generation to have those carryover genes and continue to be autistic.
Right.
So
now here's something interesting. Say you have somebody who has a savant trait, right?
Yeah.
They have a high functioning Asperger's and they are a savant in some sort of field. They now breed with someone who has just what we would consider in society a normal functioning brain, right?
Right.
If they were to give birth to a child, would it be possible for that child to have what's considered a normal functioning brain of society, but still have the ability to be a savant?
Yeah.
And is that what you now would call a genius? Is that your Albert Einstein's? Is that your, because you think back then, I mean, Albert Einstein's parents, do we know that one of those two parents didn't, because it wasn't
I'm not really
diagnosed
sure.
back then. Do we know that one of those parents didn't have a savant trait or
Never done
something like
research on
that?
parents.
What causes the genius to come into play? Is it two high functioning normal society brains, or is it one normal brain and one high functioning savant brain combined? It's interesting.
That is
weird.
super interesting.
Like what decides that, what DNA goes into
Yeah,
it.
and I
it's
feel
just
like
a random amalgamation.
Yeah,
of
it's the chaos.
DNA. Yeah.
It's a roll of fucking dice. Like you're literally just hoping for the best combination of genes that are transferred from both parents.
Yeah. Which I think that's what makes CRISPR such a crazy invention.
fuck yeah, dude.
I mean, the ability to map our gene or our
Oh
DNA.
my god.
20 years at least, we're going to be able to pick and choose, basically. I mean, that's
you want green
wild.
eyes, you want brown eyes, you want
and is that evolution? If we're now deciding what DNA is going into my child, is that an evolutionary thing, or is that it, or have we peaked? Because they're also saying that at a certain point, what CRISPR is allowed to do, or what it's able to do, is to basically reverse aging.
Yeah.
And not reverse it, but slow the aging process. I mean, they're already working on that right now. Actively, they're working on slowing the aging process through CRISPR.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that the height of where we, is that our next step, is basically living for a longer period of time as well. So it's interesting. I don't know.
It is super interesting.
Also, another fun fact. This is crazy that I learned. Did you know that there is a direct correlation between mass of a species, so take a whale and a person, right? Whales almost never get cancer, but people obviously do. And they believe this, and this is like they can't figure out why. There's a couple theories as to why this happens, but it's basically mass is directly related to the frequency of cancer. But they don't know why.
So like what about like a mouse?
So like a mice get cancer almost always. Like it's very rampant in mice and smaller species. for us, we're like right kind of in the middle. And then for stuff like rhinos and whales and elephants, they almost never die from it. Now, one of the theories is that it's basically what do they call it? It's basically, I can't think of the term for it, but it's the cancer cells.
Big fat people. You're gonna die of heart attacks anyway.
yeah,
so.
yeah,
But it won't be cancer.
Yeah, it won't be cancer.
But it's
You'll
like,
beat cancer.
but it's
You'll eat
basically
cancer.
they'll
You'll
get
eat
a
cancer.
tumor,
Your
right?
body eats it.
And so let's say, oh, that just finished. Nice. So like, you know, when say a whale gets a tumor, right? Now it's going to be the normal, because there's a certain frequency as at what rate cells basically, you know, when cells break down, they become cancerous cells. They not break down, but sometimes when a
They
cell
mutate
tries
and-
to destroy itself, it can't destroy itself, it becomes a cancer cell, right? And then
Yeah.
it feeds off of, I mean, that's how tumors are created and everything like that. In a very basic sense, obviously I'm not a fucking scientist, but what they think is because that's at a certain frequency, right? These whales are getting maybe, you know, a tumor that big, but now another tumor, before it's even noticed, another tumor is being created on top of that. And that tumor takes away the food source of the first tumor. And then it kind of just redoes that. So like then the next tumor is, and that's one theory. Another theory is that because the frequency is so little comparative to its mass of how many tumors it can get,
Yeah.
it never
It
would
just doesn't
live long.
affect
It
it.
could
Yeah.
never live long enough to get or to be affected by it.
Yeah.
It still has it. It just doesn't live long enough to ever be affected by something like
Yeah.
that.
That's weird.
It's just weird. It's crazy. I watched this whole fucking video for like an hour on mass relations to cancer frequencies.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
I don't know, man. It's just wild. There's a lot of crazy shit.
So I wonder if the cure for cancer is just like
Get super fat.
No.
no, I was gonna say like what's it called? Like what's that movie with Paul Rudd, the superhero movie?
Ant-Man?
Yeah, it's like the opposite of Ant-Man. Like you just grow
Gets
somebody
big.
up really
Yeah.
big.
Grow super
Yeah.
fucking big. Oh,
Yeah.
you have cancer? We're gonna grow you super big. And
Yeah,
then
we're
you're
gonna
not
make you
gonna
10
have
times
We're
your
gonna-
size for like
yeah.
a month, and your
Yeah,
body's
exactly.
gonna process cancer out, and then we'll shrink you back down.
Or just like a reverse Honey, We Shrunk the Kids.
Honey, we made the kids big as fuck.
it. Or is cancer the solution for cancer?
Mm.
A tumor a solution for a tumor?
Ooh,
Because tumors feed off of the same thing.
cancer
They
or
don't.
suicide.
They don't decide. They don't go, oh, okay, I'm a tumor and you're a tumor. I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. I'm
Yeah.
a tumor. But
We're
they
just-
don't.
yeah,
They don't.
we're
They
gonna
don't
work
dec-
together
Yeah,
to
they don't
fuck this
decide.
guy
Okay,
up. No.
you're using this food source. I'll use a different food source. So if you have a tumor, you put another tumor in. You go, okay, now I've starved the first tumor that was growing too big. Now I'm a smaller tumor. And then when that grows too big, you put another tumor in there. You go, nope. And you're just replacing that same tumor over and over, so it can never grow
Yeah.
to size to affect the human.
I really don't know anything about the science of
Yeah,
cancer,
I
to be
wish I
honest,
knew more
enough
about
to
it.
really
Yeah, neither do
discuss,
I.
but-
Because I mean,
Yeah.
in theory, with just this core conversation piece, like you could literally take it down through starvation all the way down to a molecular level, and then just cut that out.
Yeah, I mean, would you like to be a tumor too? Yeah, fuck it. We're all tumors. This is weird. The whole human species is just wild.
We're
It's
all
a
fucked
chaotic
up.
galactic dance, dude.
I know.
We are
We're literally
ghosts driving a skeleton mech on a flying rock that's just going through the cosmos of an endless void. We know nothing. We are nothing.
You should
Yeah.
you should write children's books.
I should, honestly.
everybody
can't draw
poops.
for shit, but-
Everybody's a mech.
Everybody's a mech.
Everybody's
shit.
everybody's a skeleton filled flesh mech
Yeah.
that poops.
But it's, I don't know. It's crazy. Existence is crazy.
Song. That's part of. Oh, wouldn't you like to be a tumor too? Oh, I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. So okay, I got another question for you guys. Since we're on this whole sciencey topic stuff,
Mhm.
what is one of your favorite theories / paradoxes to read about or learn about? Do you have any
theories or paradoxes?
that you just
Well-
are like so enthralled with because you know that you don't know the answer, but there's forever going to be stuff coming out about it?
There's an existential theory that I learned about a long time ago that kind of redirected me. Like it was very influential in like how I kind of
Navigated
evolved over
life?
time. Yeah, it kind of adjusted my perspective on things. In not necessarily a morbid way, but it's more or less like a on a conscious level. And I might have actually mentioned it before, but the theory in retrospect, it's kind of goofy, but in the theory itself is that in this current existence, in this current moment, we don't know if we're living or dead because
we don't know if it's a simulated consciousness.
Well, no,
our brain is simulating our consciousness.
Matrix.
Well, the idea runs off of that life flashing before your eyes, that proverbial
life going
moment.
super slow.
Well, here's the thing: is this your first run through or your second? So your first run through, everything is new. This conversation never happened before. I haven't seen you in that hat. Like all of these experiences that we're feeling right now are new. They're brand new.
But
this
then
conversation.
Sometimes you have what we would like to call
deja vu.
Deja vu.
And that's a totally different tangent with that. But so the core theory is that when you die, okay, you have your first lifetime or your initial real tangible lifetime. Okay, you die. The inevitability, you die. That life flashes before your eyes. You replay your entire life in its entirety, but it's playing at the same rate that you initially experienced it because everything was new and fresh as it seared its way into your subconscious.
You're reliving your first life.
So is this a scenario that you're living that life or you're reliving that life? You've already died.
Does it happen on an endless loop?
I don't think so. I think it's a trial to 1 and 2.
So the second time that you die, you experience your death, obviously your second time as well.
And then void. Yep.
It's done because it's your brain releasing all its chemicals to recreate the second life.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Fuck. Feel bad for the people that die in a bad way. Jeez.
But it's a crazy theory that I've absolutely loved and enjoyed because it's made me focus. It's made me pay attention more because I want, let's say I'm in the lucky percentage and this is my actual lifetime. I want to pay attention to as much. It's the A to B
take
theory.
in everything so that you feel like the life lasts longer.
Exactly.
Because you're in the moment. It's
the good,
it's
the
theory
bad,
of living in
like
the moment.
Everything.
There's one theory that I like that
I
actually,
like that.
it just actually got I had some research done on it recently about how the universe was kind of like formed and how it's expanding forward. Because when you think of the universe, it's ever growing, right?
Yeah.
It's like an ever going
But it
thing.
has to stop.
There's a limit to it. But the
has to
thing
stop.
is, so all right, so imagine that this table is the entire known universe, right? So like this contains everything that you have. You expect it to expand out on all sides, right? Because that's how they always explain it. It's like a big balloon that's ever growing.
Forever expanding in all sides.
However, that's not the case.
It's expanding in one linear line.
Yep. So imagine that this is the creation of the universe.
Yeah.
The universe is expanding outwards this way and like expanding out towards nothingness, basically. But it's expanding out. So imagine that you were like a soap bubble, right? And that bubble is just kind of growing out to a certain degree. What happens when it gets too big?
It's gonna pop.
It pops. Or if there's another bubble next to it, what happens?
They form two bubbles.
Merge, right? So people are theorizing now that our universe was created because there was two different universes that merged, like a smaller universe and a bigger universe, and that smaller universe merged into the big one, and then that mass basically created this formation, which decided to expand everything outward.
Or what if we're only one Big Bang? And there could be several others. Yeah. So if you start, for the balloon,
it's kind of the same concept.
The balloon theory, right? So you have the balloon. Now, instead of being the center of that balloon where it's expanding in all places, you're where you blow the air in. That's the Big Bang, right?
Yeah.
So we're now expanding this way.
Yeah. That's
what if we're only one currently? What if they haven't formed yet?
What
if there's another one that's coming and that we just haven't formed with yet?
So that merging right there, that is the Big Bang, basically. So
they think the merging is
the
Big
right
Bang.
there is the Big Bang. So that conforms everything from this universe and this universe, all the mass and creation.
So a smaller and a bigger.
Which means that if we're going out to expand even further,
we're going to do it again.
We're going to end up merging with another universe and having another Big Bang.
Yeah, because if you're contained in this area, mathematically, it's got to be probable that it's happened multiple times. So it's like, it's a very slim chance, but it's
impossible to draw a 2D shape in your 3D universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's true.
I don't like that.
What's 1D?
And what's 5D?
Let me show you. I'll show you later.
I wonder if okay, so let's run off that then. Okay, so what's the distinction between perspectives?
Between
like 2D,
between
3D?
dimensions?
Okay, so 1D, it is a single position. It's basically like a 0 point on the X and Y axis. So it's just it's basically 1D is like just existence to begin with.
Okay.
So that's just one individual spot. You can't even call it a shape because it's just a spot. But then 2D is a line.
Plane.
So yeah, there's a whole plane.
You can see-
Actually, 3D is plane as well, because
Depth,
that's depth and width. And then I guess that also adds the z-axis. But then there's also the fourth dimension, which is supposed to be like time, and it goes on for like
Right.
12 dimensions total, I'm pretty sure.
Fourth dimension would be an interesting one to dive into.
Yeah.
Now, the other crazy part is, are there beings out there that live in the other dimensions? That survive
I
in
can't even-
separate dimensions. Is there beings out there that survive in the fourth dimension and that can interact with the third, but we can't because we obviously can't perceive the fourth dimension?
Would that be classified as gods? Like
To
entities?
us, what's a god at that point? What
Well,
is
that's
a
what I'm
god?
saying.
What is a god at the point of, if you have 12 dimensions, you have beings living within those dimensions?
Yeah.
To us, you can call whatever the fuck you want. a god.
Absolutely.
To them, they're just normal. They're
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So what? The 12th dimension is now. I mean, they're their own thing.
I wonder if that idea, that existential crisis, or not crisis, but like existential perception, is what created Lovecraftian lore.
I mean,
Because a lot of
obviously,
the
everybody
time-
talks about the fourth dimension.
No, for sure,
beings and
for
stuff,
sure.
yeah.
Because I mean, like a lot of the depictions, it's kind of like a cliche for that series, or not series, but like that type of
Lore.
storytelling
Yeah.
is when he's kind of like pushing to describe a creature. It's just like, you just can't even imagine it. It's super scary. Like you just can't imagine it. Your mind can't comprehend, in that existence in that dimension. It just can't comprehend. You'll go crazy.
You know what's wild too is that we have these theories, right? In our head, we have
Yeah.
these crazy theories of different dimensions, things we can't even see, right? Stuff like that. But when you think about it, we can't even really see outside of our own solar system.
Yeah.
For the I mean, we can see.
You can't
stuff.
even see
You
your own
can't-
face.
You physically can't fathom the image of leaving our universe
No.
or of our solar system.
Yeah.
Like, you know what it looks like because we have satellites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you can't fathom leaving it.
No.
Yet we still have these random ass theories about different dimensions, shit like that. Bitch, we can only see in the third. We can't even see that far out into space. And you're thinking about different dimensions of shit we'll never even know about. It's just wild that we have the capacity to create these theories. And everything's a theory is the other crazy
Yeah.
shit. Nothing is proven. Gravity is not a proven thing.
Yeah, it's all
It's a
hypothetical.
theory
Well, no,
that has been, it's not a proven fact because at some point, somehow, some way, it may be able to be disproved. So it's a theory. Everything's a theory. They teach you
Mhm.
that in science in like 6th grade. Everything is a theory because although there is science now that backs it up, dropping an apple off of a tree, gravity, right? There's mathematic equations that have been created that right now prove gravity is a thing. However, it's not to say that it can never be disproven. You
Yeah.
can't say that.
I don't know if it can be disproven, but it could be what's it
can't
called? It
disprove
could be modified, basically.
Highly
It's
likely.
highly likely. There's
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
in science you can never prove anything. You can just create the most likely scenario. There's never a proven thing.
Yeah.
Because you can't physically state that it will not be disproven. Because maybe thousands of years in the future, what we thought was gravity is something that we can't even fathom
Yeah.
right now. We
At its
don't
core.
have
Yeah.
the mental capacity to fathom what it really is. So you can't disprove it, or you can't prove it, because it can forever be disproven at some point for something that we don't even know is real. Like, think about it this way. You would, back in the day, they thought that we were the center of the universe. Way back when, you would have said that is a proven fact. We are the center of the universe. Here's the mathematical equations that prove we're the center of the universe.
Yeah.
Everything proves it, right? And then some guy comes along and goes,
Changed a couple
yeah, you guys are
decimals.
fucking wrong, like way wrong. We're nowhere near the center of the universe.
Yeah.
Like, we're in a smaller capacity of a huge capacity of things.
Well, the math
So-
behind that, though, could be proven as well by burning him at the stake.
Burning him at the
So-
stake. But yeah, it's just weird because you
By
can't,
chanting hymns.
everything that we propose it as a certain fact, like quantum physics. We always say like quantum physics is is the end all be all. Like you can't break the law of quantum.
Also-
or I'm sorry, physics was the end all be all. You
Yeah.
couldn't break the laws of physics. Well, then all of a sudden somebody hypothesized that highly likely that you could. And
Yeah.
they showed the mathematical equations why. And that's what created quantum physics.
Yeah.
And now you have this whole different thing where physics was the end all be all law of the world or law of the earths and everything in the universe. And now quantum physics is above that. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, whoa, what? Like imagine being in that time,
Dude.
when something like that was brought to life. What
Yeah.
the
And then
fuck?
brought to light by someone that is an expert in that. You know,
There's only 100,000 people who are main characters. The rest are NPCs.
That would freak me the fuck out if that was
That's-
true.
If she floats, she's a witch.
Dude, if there's only 100,000 people and the rest are NPCs, I would be paranoid as fuck. It's like, who's real?
Well, I would just
Am I
immediately
real?
think I'm in the Matrix and I'm gonna try flying.
Red pill,
Also,
red pill.
here's another crazy thing. I don't know if you guys learned about this in science class, like way back when. I learned about it recently.
Mm.
So technically, if you were to do this,
Oh
on a
my
wall,
God,
right?
dude.
If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were to do this right on a wall, there is a 1 in like trillions chance that you could time it perfectly that your hand goes through the wall.
Yeah.
Because you would be the perfect timing of the spacing of the atoms in that wall that you were able to slide in between the spacing. There is a 1 in a trillion chance
should try it.
that it can happen.
You could spend your entire lifetime.
Yeah.
And there that
Oh, you could spend 400 lifetimes trying it, and it'll never probably happen, but it's a possibility that you can go through a wall
so
and not break through it, literally phase through.
Yeah, I will pay you $100
like
right now
like
if you can
the
do
Flash.
it.
Just wham.
Yeah, literally the
Right.
Flash.
It is the craziest thing, and that was actually they say
What's up,
that
James?
that was
Welcome back.
one of the inspiration points for the group, and they made the film about it with George Clooney and everything. The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm,
That
mhm.
scene where the guy runs at the wall. It's that psychic level. It's a interconnectivity between your consciousness and the reality around you that you are able to time those moments.
when it's going to happen.
And that they were trying to test that because that was a real thing.
Yeah, Men
Those
Who Stare
were
at
real
Goats.
people.
Yeah, don't forget, people, The Men Who Stare at Goats, the great movie with George Clooney,
Dude, based on a true
was a
story.
real experiment
Real.
in the United States
It's
military.
amazing.
This was a
I love
real
it.
thing that people were trying to do.
But
it's
it's
wild.
that's a tangible thing. That
Yeah.
at some point in the chaos that is molecular expanse and everything that it that creates a tangible reality.
You can phase
okay?
through shit.
This
You
fucking
if you
table.
did this for long enough, you could phase your finger through that.
Or you can just really hard and just break the table.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, that too.
but like that
Walker
exists.
smash.
That's a thing. You know,
Yeah, it's
it's
weird.
amazing. It's amazing to me because that's another component to something that you couldn't fathom. You could not, in your entirety of your existence, even though you might have tried for fucking 45 years to do it. Actually,
it was the inspiration for Justin Bieber's "Never Say Never."
oh my god,
Oh God! All right, I'll be right back, guys. You guys keep talking
But-
about this shit.
yeah, it's just I don't know. I absolutely I love the idea, just at its core that is potentially a thing.
Well, I'm just trying to think of like how that would, like, because you can only ever do that for like a fraction of a millisecond, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
'Cause then all of a sudden, your hands through a wall,
Your
and
hand's
then
It's now in a wall.
what happens now? Like you're fused.
But here's the thing, though. It's never like nobody's done it because it's that point something
Yeah.
trillions over, and it's I don't
So
know.
that's my issue with things like that, like with statements, because it's like, yeah, like theoretically anything could happen.
Yeah.
But it's like I could say theoretically I can stand outside and I can think hard enough to where I could float off the ground.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know if that's gonna happen. It's just
But and that's
there's a trillion, like 1 in a trillion chance I'm gonna go outside and I don't know.
a fly's gonna hit your forehead in the perfect way. That's gonna
Right, it's gonna
over.
lobotomize me.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's what's so fucking crazy about that is like, I don't know. I think on my own perspective and my own cynicism with it, I think that kind of unpredictability and chaos in this existence, in this
Mhm.
reality, in this universe, in this dimension that we are currently a part of, like, that's what kind of keeps that perspective for me. Is it's just an unstoppable chaos
Yeah.
that's created and is still developing this existence.
And there's no stopping it.
There isn't. No, it will never stop until it stops itself.
Yes, you could tell us something super quick and weird and related.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also Jake is commenting. Jake's pooping, by the way. So, oh man.
So what did he say?
If you were able to phase through a wall, would it be you reaching into a different dimension?
Well, that into your neighbor's house.
Could you imagine that? Just like waking up one day and then you're like, why the fuck is my neighbor's hand through the wall?
Or just wake up with a hand next to you, like, what the fuck
What
did
the
I do?
Okay, what do we got? So here on YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's just the law of attraction. That's all that is. It's a pretty regularly practiced thing. I do it.
What is it? So I heard on YouTube about manifesting, where all you go into meditative state, you kind of pray for things. Huh.
Law of attraction.
Huh.
That's all it is.
That's interesting. I might check into that. We should get into some conspiracy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? These past 3 weeks have gotten me really pissed off about a lot of things. And I've been like, okay, maybe a lot of these conspiracies are not so far off. Do you guys ever used to watch that YouTube channel called What They Don't Want You to Know?
No.
Holy shit. It's just like these like 4-minute fucking conspiracy clips about this guy explaining like different kinds of conspiracies that everybody has. And here's some bullshit evidence, but some of them are really good.
Yeah, that was.
God damn it. I knew it was going to be something like this, Thirst. I knew it.
What's up?
How fucking crazy is that? It's crazy, dude. Manifestation.
Dude.
Law of attraction. I'm a big fan of law of attraction. I'm a huge fan. Flat Earth theory. Flat Earth. Like the guy who fucking died trying to fucking prove it. Dumbass. Splatted his ass on that fucking Earth.
What, did he fall off the Earth? Or
yeah. No, he went up in his rocket and his fucking parachute failed 15 feet up. This was the second time. The first time he went up
this
like
is like an
250
actual
feet.
person.
An actual
This guy did this.
Oh,
He
shit.
funded it himself, built a rocket. He went about, I don't know. His first attempt, he went up like 100 feet or something like that. He was up pretty high. Parachute came down. He came down hard. He hurt himself. Don't get me wrong. Like, he fucked himself up a little bit. Went out for a second attempt. Second attempt, bigger rocket, more fuel, right? He's able to go up way higher. And don't get me wrong, he goes up way higher. 15 feet, though, his parachute fails. And he fucking rockets to the earth, dead on impact. And to you, my friend, how does that earth feel when it makes you flat, motherfucker?
Well, it actually made
It
him
feels
kind
dead.
of rounded out. A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the funniest part about that is they've been trying all these different methods to
Where they at
prove-
though? Where the armpits at though?
Man, I'm self-conscious today. I'm not feeling myself.
Yeah, but like all like those flat Earth theories, like they're trying to like do like all these flat Earth experiments, and
yeah.
they all end up proving that the Earth is
And
round.
the funniest part
idiots.
about that was like the hole at a specific distance. That was my favorite one. Is with a light that's supposed to.
Oh yeah, when he tries to prove that you can see the light from a certain distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see the light. What? I can't see it. Okay, what about now? No, I still can't see it. Yeah, dumbass, because you just proved curvature of the earth.
Dude. And
Idiot.
it was like, because you can hear the realization, like, because he was so fucking gung ho about, like, he had this whole spiel in the beginning of the video, but like how this mathematical equation and like the curvature of the planet and like it would completely disprove the idea of it being curved.
Right.
If this distancing would, because it was like per feet or whatever, there is a specific percentage of that curvature that happens to where the angle changes, and did all of this fucking mathematical science on it to be proven wrong. And you hear it in his voice.
Oh, he was so
Holy
distraught. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Maybe
watching
I have
those.
been a fucking idiot all this time.
It's so good. There's a
know.
guy on my Facebook that's an avid flat Earth believer.
Really?
You know
I think,
who he is.
I know who he is.
And half the time I'm like, I just want to take this fucking guy off my Facebook because he's just so ridiculous. But at the same token, it's so funny to have him on there. And at some point, I just am waiting and hoping that a moment occurs where that happens to him.
Yeah.
And I want to watch his existential crisis breakdown on Facebook.
See,
happen.
my thing about the flat Earth people is that I thought that it was like at first I thought it was like a social experiment where people were just going to act fucking stupid in order to rally everybody together against a common disbelief.
These are just fucking idiots who are in basically a cult about flat Earth.
It's just so fucking stupid.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
If you could start a cult, what would you do? What would it be?
Mm, sex.
A sex
Sex
cult?
cult?
It would just be just a mass orgy. I'd buy up a bunch of industrial properties and just make them into like sex dungeons.
So like
I just joined his
old, like
cult.
the old,
Yeah.
just joined his- so like the old raves in like England and shit, where they were
Dude,
underground,
I
or
would-
like
I would-
warehouses and shit. But it would
That's
just be
literally
sex orgies,
all
of
the
just
time.
raving sex orgies.
all the time. It's just raving
Sounds
sex
like a
orgies,
great cult.
drugs, like just a fucking cesspool of just
Kind of-
debauchery.
kind
So,
of fucking
so like a
into it.
Tuesday
Yeah.
then, right? I mean,
Dude, like
yeah.
every day. That's your entire existence. Get catering every fucking day.
I mean,
we just picked up Qdoba.
I think you'd get like a great following out of that. I'm gonna
Oh,
be
fuck
honest.
yeah.
A
Are
lot
you
of
kidding
death.
me?
A lot of death.
That's
Don't get me
fine.
wrong, but like you'd get a pretty good following. out of
But
it.
you know what? Here's the way to, encourage that. You don't want to encourage death, but to make it less scary is you just go to Valhalla. Fuck it. Like you
Fuck
go to heaven if
yeah.
you die fucking death by
yeah,
snoo.
if you die in our warehouses,
Oh.
you just go to Valhalla. And
if you
fuck, eat, and fight.
die in that ecstasy induced bliss, then you go to an ever existent pleasure center that is the center of the universe.
You
Boom.
get- you get-
My entire
you-
religion was just created.
If you die,
right
you
there.
just go. You go
Dude.
to a heaven. You go to a heaven where there's just an infinite suck off machine.
Dude.
And it just gets,
No, instead of
Or you just
72
go to Japan, they
virgins,
have those.
it's 170 sluts.
Yep, just dirtiest
dirty
sluts you could
sluts.
think of. Do you guys know about the Elon Musk Twitter theory? His Twitter is all memes and him making music. In interviews, he says AI is studying our social media to gain power over us. Elon posting memes, him tricking AI into thinking he's an idiot.
Huh. That'd be kind of cool.
I mean,
He's a smart guy.
he is.
Again,
And they're going to follow like
a
incredibly
savant.
influential people. Yeah.
he clearly has social
Awareness.
communication
Yeah.
issues. Like if you watch him when he gives speeches,
Well, the
he-
mannerisms and stuff.
his mannerisms are not what we would call normal.
Yeah.
But he is one of the most influential and intellectual people of our of our time. So it's like, is that our brain or our evolutionary trait saying, hey, we don't need this as much anymore? What we need is scientific advances. We don't need communication on that level.
Right.
And could that be because of the internet? Because we're able to communicate over the internet without having mannerisms, is that a form of an evolutionary trait coming into play where it's like, hey, we don't need social cues anymore. There's no need for this. Tribalism's over. We don't need an interaction between person and person, face to face. Internet has taken that away from us. We need to focus more on the intellectual part of the brain, focusing on problems that it's like, whoa,
That's kind of weird because
whoa.
there's upsides and downsides to that as well.
Yeah.
Where it's like you have limited social interaction, like face to face,
Yeah.
but your intelligence level is skyrocketing.
There's upsides and downsides
so it's
of
like,
us,
is that something that you're willing to give up?
of us
and
being
is there
able
a
to climb
battle-
trees.
Is there like an internal battle going on between everybody with that?
It's a drunken stumble of evolution. You
Oh,
have to
that's weird.
take some to give some.
That actually makes a lot of sense because like
That's what I'm saying, dude.
imagine all the fucking idiots there are on Facebook all the time, and imagine those who like don't need the social interaction. That intelligence is
Yeah,
skyrocketing.
and they
yeah.
can communicate
But
very
just-
well through the internet, right? But their social cues are way off. And I'm telling you, man, I'm going down this rabbit hole deep on this one.
all I see is
See a bunch of
eggplants.
you all have just joined my cult. Oh shit,
Sweet.
I don't want it.
The thirst
I hope
almost
France
cult.
is okay. Yeah, I don't know where she must be working. I'm sure she
She's
is.
a-
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
she's a
guarantee
she's a
she
nurse.
is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just
That's actually that's an interesting theory. I
like,
wasn't checking that one out.
yeah, what if our social interaction skills just don't need to be here anymore? We don't need it, especially if we're all going to be linked up.
Yeah, that Neuralink.
You don't
shit.
fucking need it. What do you need
Thanks
social
to
cues
Elon.
for? Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I think ascension is something that's gonna become tangible within our generation.
What do you
Our
mean?
lifetime.
What do you mean? Oh, like
Interconnectivity with computers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to.
My-
it has to.
my issue with Ascension though is like, okay, let's say that we're able to upload people into this virtual world. Who the fuck's gonna sit around and manage that?
Well, if you watch Transcendence,
Yeah.
nobody needs to manage it.
Is it
Self-contained.
It's self. He builds himself.
Well, then at the same point, like, you're gonna need what, like a server? You're gonna need,
At its core.
yeah.
Yeah, but once you get to
You're
a
gonna need
certain,
the hardware to run
once
that.
once you get to a certain point, you are now
You're traversing.
operating
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, but you're still gonna need the hardware
Essentially-
and shit to run that.
Well, I mean,
You don't know that?
essentially, you're gonna hit a Skynet level of connectivity.
Yeah, now you're in a cloud.
you are ever present. You
And
are
if you're
ever
all
existent.
if you're all in the cloud, there's no need for physical structures to
Yeah.
be put on a server.
Hmm.
You're now in a cloud. You're now all
You're
communicating.
free form.
Well,
Is that its
that's
own
not really how clouds
dimension?
work, though.
It's its
Okay,
own
but
existence.
what I'm
Clouds still
saying,
have
but
servers,
I'm
though.
saying
Yeah.
that you're going to a level now where, okay, so let's say you go to the cloud, right?
Okay, I can't read that.
I can just write code like, oh, Jesus Christ. But like, so you go to this level now of the cloud, right? You're
You're the
all up
best.
here in this amalgamation of data,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
What's to say that the data doesn't stay in its own dimension without servers? You can't say that it's being deleted. You can say it's being deleted from our known realm. Okay, it's not on a server anymore. It's been deleted from the internet. It's not on the internet. But what's to say there's not something above that?
That's not how data works, though.
But
You
with
can't-
the core
You can't
understanding.
technically prove back on the theory thing. You
don't
can't
you get me started.
No.
you can't prove that data's being deleted.
Well, with
It's not
core,
getting deleted. It's just not getting stored.
yeah, with its core understanding, you
Okay,
are
but it's
free
still
floating.
out there.
You
But
are
you're
free
still- It's
existent.
still out there.
But
If
the
we reach a
issue-
certain point, we don't. It doesn't need. It just needs to be out there.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like radio waves. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just going to continue on until something catches it. But the problem is from A to B, when does that sequence stop to where that ever existent floating state to where you're in transit?
Right.
What kind of an existence is that? How
It's
do you
not.
sustain that existence to where it's within that
I don't
dimension
know.
or whatever? It's
Or maybe we create. Maybe the first person that transcends. Right now, they have quantum computing on their side.
I'll do it.
Okay. So say they hopefully
Sign me up,
hopefully
Cap.
somebody a little better. But,
Yeah,
you know,
whatever.
maybe they have quantum computing. Now
I
they
got
have quantum
nothing going
computing
on.
as their power, right? Now they've created something that's industry. Say they now have created a server that's indestructible. It will never die. It'll never go bad. Parts will never go bad.
Never
Like,
run out of
create
power.
it'll create something that, because if you have quantum computing, you think about that as part of your consciousness, you're doing equations way quicker than any person will ever do in 4 lifetimes, right? So now so if you have quantum computing, you're able to find a way to harness the energy of the sun. Once you find a way to harness the energy of the sun, not solar power, I mean like actually harnessing,
right.
Like a
like
Dyson sphere.
creating the sun's energy, basically. So now you're able to, the people that are still here, how to create that server. And then once they create it, it's like, all right, everybody get in. Hop on this server. It's never going to die. It'll forever be.
So it's a Dyson sphere powered data server that runs on the cloud.
It'll forever be.
That is a lot of shit.
It's just one server in the middle of the desert.
The AWS servers are just like, God damn it, no.
But then that's kind of reliant on, I mean, if it's self-sustaining, can create that energy.
And
But
then
when
once
the
the
sun
earth
blows up,
explodes,
yeah.
we all die. We're done. Cool.
Yeah.
Then it's all done. Everybody, we're all gonna die anyways. Just fucking end it over.
So would you rather die in this reality or that
Nope.
cloud
No
state?
cloud, because I'm not gonna feel it.
Unless you can create a way that you can
Yeah.
actually all right, so you could program
Transmit to a different world.
you can automate robots to create other Dyson spheres, and then when one sun's about to explode, you can dismantle one and go attach to another one.
Yeah.
Bam.
Or you don't even do that. You just have to put them out there anyways. You don't even have to wait till the sun explodes. You just take these robots now that are if you got the guy that's got quantum computing, now you have everyone's quantum computing. Now you've created robots that are creating themselves, right? That are shooting themselves off into the fucking known universe, into the cosmos, and they're just going. And we've created a way to travel at the speed of light, obviously, at that point. So you're just traveling.
Oh, clearly.
And
So
Yeah.
that's
you're doing all this shit,
why not?
that's
if you're doing all this
immortality.
shit,
Fuck it.
we're immortal. Well, yeah, you can't. We're now
Yeah.
everywhere.
We wouldn't die.
Now we're the virus of the universe.
Well, we wouldn't be interacting with the universe except for those robots.
What if we're all just a fucking simulation?
Yo, actually, you say the
Let me
virus of the
fly.
universe. That actually makes a good point. Another theory that I read, actually, that was just kind of like a basis of a theory, is that aliens aren't real yet until we actually go out into space, because we're going to be the ones that are going to be out there.
Xenomorphs.
You think so, though? You don't think there's anything that's been
Oh, I
any life
definitely-
that's been
I believe in
created since
fucking
then?
aliens. I do.
Right.
But the
But
theory
we would
was,
also be creating it.
yeah, the theory is that like our genetics basically would be the ones that would be mutating and terraforming other places and
Yeah.
creating new ways to go out there and expand.
Aliens are the mods of our simulations.
Dude,
I think
I'm all
we're
for
just,
it. I want to meet the guy that's making those mods. Good job. Well, first I want to meet the mods and then meet the guy who made the mods.
I just want to meet the aliens.
Yeah, well, yeah, honestly.
I want to see the death of the universe. I think that'd
Yeah.
be really interesting.
just-
We've talked about that a couple of
Yeah.
times, so we're on a
I would
mutual
like to see
understanding of
that.
that. Just see everything end.
And
I just want to see what's outside the universe because like if
the
we're-
known
if-
universe.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
fuck
if
yeah.
we're expanding into something, what are we expanding into?
But if
Yeah,
you get to the end, you go, "Fuck, it's flat. It's all flat. What the fuck? This is all flat." They were right. It's flat.
Yeah, at the end there's just a doorway and then some dude sitting in a leather chair.
He's just sitting there. He's like,
What's up? Hey, bro.
"Finally, somebody else fucking here."
It's like I got here a long time ago. I couldn't get back. So
When, when did you get here, bro? There's no time. What do you mean when?
Yeah.
I'm here. I've been here. I'll always be here. I've always been
I
here.
just started walking.
he's just like, oh, finally, my shift is over. Here, take over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
cool.
my God. Could you imagine?
Hey, do you mind just keeping that door open for
That
me?
would be an awesome writing prompt.
Yeah.
You get to the edge of the universe, and the guy just gets off his chair. It's like, oh, finally, my shift's over. Here,
Fucking
take over.
finally.
Well, like because that's been told in a couple of different stories of where there's this
But you can't say finally because you don't know time. I mean, you don't know time at
well
that point.
that's the thing is there's this transfer rate. So once someone acknowledges and transcends that perspective of reality and existence, they sit in this proverbial throne and watch this world timelessly as the universe creates.
no cakes, no personality. True.
The cake isn't real. So.
What if?
Not the cake.
Nice. I mean, is time a human creation to
Absolutely.
keep things organized?
Yeah.
I mean, everything decays.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
We know things move forward.
Yeah, on a cellular level,
But
there's
time,
no escaping that.
time is a human created
It's a concept,
thing.
yeah.
It's a human concept to help keep things organized. What do you mean?
We'll get there when
Who was the first
when
person?
the gods pulled the sun down to a specific angle.
No, because that's time. That's timing.
Well, that's they consider that time.
It's still time.
It's a tangible reality.
Time's a
beforehand.
tangible thing.
The
I hate all of
concept
you.
and labeling of time.
Yeah, but you're labeling that is a time. You're labeling that is
No, I mean because the big fiery fucking god in
Yeah,
the sky
so
at
it's
some point is
moving.
going to be here. That isn't at the time period isn't necessarily correlated with 2 o'clock.
No, it's not a clock. Time is not a clock. Time is not necessarily a
You're-
clock. Time before then was constellation
We're
based.
crossing beams
Time
here.
before then
We're
was
saying the
constellation
same
based.
shit.
Constellation based, and and they decided like the Egyptians, they didn't have clocks, they didn't have times, they didn't have a noon, they didn't have a one.
Yeah.
They had the constellation is here, it's summer.
Yeah.
The constellation is here, it's not summer, it's this season, it's
Yeah.
growing season, it's whatever. So, but like
So it's
before
phrasing.
that,
It's phrasing.
everybody just lived.
Yeah.
Nobody gave a shit. Nobody could read constellations. Nobody could read when the sun was going here. Nobody knew consciously that, okay, the sun's here. So obviously it's a part of the day. This is a part of a day
Oh.
where my routine has. They just did a thing.
I wonder how worried people were. Like, oh, that thing's not going to come back. And then the next day, they're like, oh, thank God. Thank
So like a dog
And Jesus,
mentality.
people in Alaska,
Oh,
Fuck
fuck.
that.
fuck. They were like,
No.
somebody comes. Can you
It
imagine
left us for 30 days.
the first person to visit
Yeah, who's
Alaska?
that asshole
The-
that was like, "Fuck, I'm just gonna raise a family here."
the sun comes back and it's like,
Just think like the first person to visit Aborigines in Alaska and went, hey, so like I'll see you tomorrow morning. What the fuck is a morning?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What's a morning? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Don't come here. Don't live here.
This place fucking sucks. We either get too much or not enough at all. I don't know what to
We
tell you.
can't get out. Don't send people here.
We don't know what anything is
Yeah.
at all. We just live here. We hope polar bears don't kill us. We don't
Dude.
know.
That's wild. That's a wild existence. I couldn't imagine being back. Like, well, I mean, when did that start to get colonized?
Well, Indian Eskimos
For
have
what?
been there, right?
oh, the element.
how
Yeah.
long?
And Vikings were there.
When did they go?
Vikings were there before that. Vikings crossed the land bridge to get
Who
there.
would
Yeah.
voluntarily fucking live in that area?
Badass
I
motherfuckers.
mean, that'd be cool as shit, dude.
Yeah.
The,
But, I mean-
the Alouettes were badass people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But
Yeah, but before then, I'm just saying, like the Vikings clearly crossed a land bridge
yeah.
to get to Alaska, right? There's remnants of it that they were there. Was there a drastic change from them going there? Going, what the fuck is this? There's no goddamn sun. Well, but also at the same time, it wasn't what it looks like right now.
Yeah.
It was more of like a Pangea style thing. Eskimos, Inuits are from the Asian part of Russia and Korea.
Yep.
Land bridge.
Land bridge.
Yeah, the Bering Strait. Oh yeah. But it's just very interesting. Like,
It is. in its whole.
There's
It's very
almost
interesting
100.
how we've
How long do you think you would survive?
not long.
Like as a
I have-
as an Aboriginal of any place.
As an Aboriginal.
Not an maybe not an Aboriginal. As an explorer, how long do you think you would live?
Depends on what you bring. Because I mean, if you were
personally,
me personally,
if
with
you
the
were
knowledge that I have
you
right
were-
now,
you weren't even a colonizer. You were just like exploring
just a
the
civilian.
world of just like I don't know what the fuck any of this is. I'm just going.
Well,
You're a Viking style.
Oh, what
I
the
guess-
fuck?
I guess it would really be.
Then if you are part of a tribe,
Mhm.
right? What level or what hierarchy of that tribe would you fall into? Of the pyramid, like the old school
Oh,
pyramid
shaman.
of like
Oh fuck yeah!
like
Definitely would
what
fuck shaman.
level do you think they would have put you in?
The current me.
The most up to date version of you. Where do you think that your society would have put you?
That's tough. Because of course I want to say like warrior or like some sort of
Yeah, you
some
wanna
sort of
say that,
front man,
right?
but like
But like there's some badass
I've never been.
motherfuckers.
Well, I've never been in a fucking axe fight.
True.
Like
And they
You'll
all
get
have
there, man. You'll get
what?
there.
and they're all some
apocalypse comes, man.
burly. What I mean, if you
I have
think
extra
about it,
axes if you guys need.
Oh,
them. I
all
got
of
like
us,
4.
all of us sitting at this table are pussies compared to any
Are
of the
you
warriors
fucking
back
kidding me,
then.
dude?
Pussies.
Anybody sitting on these sides of the table?
No, no.
Well,
I'm
genetically, you're already above the fucking
you're
curve.
big, but they would fucking end you in a
'Cause that was the
in a
existence, man.
second. I
But,
can guarantee you don't know how to X fight. You don't know how to
Yeah.
sword fight. Like they would just end
You
you.
don't know my life. Fuck you.
But it's one of those things. It's that exposure. It's that.
Okay, so
tenacity.
your version of you right now, if you were in, let's say, an Indian tribe,
Yeah.
what would you be?
I don't know enough about that culture to be able to pinpoint exactly.
What culture do you know well enough about?
Also, it's Native American.
Germanic or Viking?
Native American. Okay, a Viking. But they were all okay. If you were in
Just a tribe.
the tribal era,
I'd probably
What-
be. I mean, in all honesty, I'd probably be like a farmer. I mean, I'm
Or a
not. I'm
hunter.
not built like, and it sucks because like I'd want to say
I know.
like every fiber of my being is like
it's your-
I would be the guy
it's
raiding
your
camps.
self-esteem. You
and,
really
like,
have to break your fucking self-esteem
Yeah.
down to know. Like,
yeah,
to
I'd
answer
probably
that
honestly with my build
Yeah.
and my knowledge of things. Let's revert it back, dial it back to at that time what that knowledge was. I'd probably be a farmer. I'd be a cultivator. I'd be someone that provided substance. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be the fighter. I wouldn't be the guy because I'm not jacked. I'm not some
Right.
fucking musclehead. Then again, I haven't trained those muscles to be, so I don't know what my full potential is.
Yeah, but it's the
But-
current state of you.
Current state of me, I'd be
Yeah.
a farmer.
No training prior.
Yeah.
Farmer.
I
How
would
about
I
you?
would fall into that category.
Current state of you. No, you're not allowed to do any sort of training. It's a current state of you falls in.
Oh,
you
just straight berserker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No,
fucking
I don't
kill
know.
yourself.
Nah.
Dude, fronting.
What do you
Charge
think?
in.
Let that confidence, that wall of self-esteem down. What do you think?
I think some sort of like maybe not chief, but I'd be in some sort of like leader position. You know,
Yeah.
just trying
I
to innovate
could
things
see
to move
you-
forward.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could see you as what do you call it?
Prostitute.
Yes. Like shoot, what did they call him? You're not technically the leader, but you're the face of decision. It's like the
An
people
advisor.
above, you're the advise. Yeah, like an
Mm.
advisory person. That's what I would see you as. It's an advisor.
You're a little finger.
an advisor to
No.
Yeah, you're a little finger.
No, I'm good on that one.
adulterer. Yeah, I see you
Adulterer.
as or either that or or I would put you. Damn, actually, I could apply that to any of us here.
Mhm.
The philosopher.
Yeah,
I could
like
put-
the
I could-
shaman-esque.
I could put any of us onto that definitely.
dope.
Not
Yeah.
even just a shaman, but like think like Socrates level.
Yeah.
I could totally see any of the three of us on like sitting in a fucking park.
that
like,
existential
thinking.
path of
You know what?
trying
Yeah.
to.
You know what I could kind of see myself as, or self as, is like a blacksmith almost, like the person
Yeah,
that creates
I could see
shit
that.
for
I can
people.
see that.
Yeah, that's what I like to do a lot. So.
I would think for me, script like
Mhm.
just not a historian, but just who sees, acknowledges, and passes down.
they'll be like, "Wise Jacob, please tell us of this being."
I don't
that
know
you came
about
across."
wise.
Yeah,
See,
I
I
can't
And you'd be
don't-
like, "It's fucking aliens, man."
Hair's all froed out.
I'll tell you what, man.
I
it's
don't know
fucking
about I don't know about wise.
Yeah,
I just
he-
mean that time.
like that.
What did you do? I watched.
I just existed.
I don't know what you want from
Here's
me.
my memoir.
Oh my god, they sound so brave. Like, were you scared? Bro, I was scared as fuck. I was just recording what the fuck was going on. I don't even know. Motherfuckers were cutting each other in half. I was just sitting back scared as shit. I'm writing everything down in my little journal with my little feather pen. I don't know what the fuck y'all wanted from me.
They splattered blood all over my notebook.
Yeah. I was scared as shit.
Refer back to page 45. You can see the damage.
You
You're
see
like,
where I
is this
shit myself.
hair?
You see that page that was taken out of the notebook? That's where I had to wipe my own ass because I shit myself.
Yeah.
These people are scary out here. These people are animals. What do you mean was I brave?
Dude.
Fuck no. I hid in a corner in a little pottery thing.
You're
and
doing
I
this
just
little
sat there
pottery.
and just waited.
You're doing your laundry and you're like, oh, who left these scalps next to my loincloth? What the fuck?
That would be I've always thought it would be super cool, like in the era of like Socrates and everything, just living the philosopher life, like
Yeah.
just being. I
They
mean,
also fucked each other a lot.
that too. But here's the thing. Here's the problem with that life is that you
they fuck each
never
other.
have answers. So like you're forever in an impending like world of questioning. Like,
I
you
mean,
never
even-
have an answer to anything.
Even now, I mean, like the conversations we were having earlier,
Mhm.
it's an existential crisis.
'Cause
You
you
cannot
can't
answer
it.
anything.
Yeah, it's like the question of like what makes a chair and what makes a table a table. Like
Yeah.
you can't decide that
Because
like,
I can
it
sit on this
forever be
table
refuted.
just as well as I can this chair.
To play a prank on people. What would it be and when would it be? Hitler.
What?
I would play
You
a
can't
prank
just say
on
Hitler. You got to give more of an
Yeah.
explanation.
Context, dude.
Play
If you could play a
prank.
prank on one person, what would the prank be?
I'd play
Hitler.
a prank on. Okay, I got it. I'd play a prank on Hitler. Ready? Here's what I'm gonna do. It's the best prank of all time. Okay, when him and his wife are in the little bunker. Fuck you, motherfucker! You got taken.
I would swap out the cyanide pills with those like little those little sponge toys that you put into like water and they grow into like little dinosaurs.
Oh my god! Even better. I'd replace Hitler's cyanide pill with X-Lax.
Shits himself.
So he would be getting captured and shitting himself profusely.
Switch it out with Viagra.
That'd be a
He's got a
story.
raging
All
erection.
right. Hey, where's our sergeant first class? I don't know how to get this guy. I
Okay.
don't. What do you want me to do? Private, go grab him.
Cut
I'm
it
not
off.
grabbing that.
I've got
Cut it
one.
off.
I've got one, by the way. I'd go back to the Wild West and I would be a snake oil salesman.
Oh, dude.
Just sell people random shit and get
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
loads of money and then move
Soap
on to the next
water.
town.
Just cocaine.
Like seriously, you stop in one
Wow.
town every single night of the week.
You got ghosts in your blood.
You got ghosts
Here's
in
some
your blood.
cocaine.
Here's some liquid cocaine to flush it
Yeah,
out.
you do that. You visit one town like every 2-3 days, and then you get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
and you go to the next town, and then
But if you
there's-
get caught,
You're,
but there's
you're
no
gonna
like
get
legal
analyzed.
force. They're fucking
you
arrest
don't
for that
need a
shit.
legal force. You need fucking
You
civilians.
spend one day, and then you get the fuck out.
Here's what you
I
do.
mean, there's stories of people
Here's what you do.
tracking salesmen and
Okay,
like
so snake oil, right? So you do the snake oil thing, right? You get everybody convinced in that township that they need this. It's cyanide. You get all their money. They're all dead. They can't track you. They're dead.
Yeah, but then what if their children hunt you or something?
Montage of you guys fondling your mics. It is funny how much you play. That would be a lot. That would take a long
Yeah.
time to do.
It's hard not to.
I just-
Just
I
know,
really-
like,
I
it's
really
right in
enjoy
front of
face,
you,
you
like,
know,
running
right
the
in your face.
mustache.
I mean,
I like the mustache. I like doing that.
It's just something.
it's just fun to.
It's just a thing. But especially since you can, like, we can hear,
He gets it.
we can hear, like, in our headphones, we can hear the difference between being right here and being here.
Yeah.
So like we're
It's fun
constantly
playing
going
with
like
that range.
this. Yeah.
So you almost have to have your face right on top of it. 'Cause otherwise, it just sounds
No.
like this, and this
Yeah.
doesn't sound
No.
like
Even if you
this.
go to the side, like right here, it's really hard to hear me. But
Yeah.
if I come right over here, you can't hear me, and I come right over here, and you hear me.
The
and I
people
come
wearing
right here,
headphones
and you
are
hear
probably
me.
freaking the fuck out.
It's like imagine that.
This
Imagine
one
that
goes
I'm like
back
on a
to the
roller coaster and I'm
headphone,
asking for
right.
help because my harness got broken. I'd be like, "Oh my god, somebody help me, please!"
Yeah.
Oh shit.
One of those fucking loops, like the fireball ones.
Man,
Oh man,
we got like so existential on the podcast and on this episode.
Yeah,
This is
man.
what happens when we're locked.
dude, we're
in
all locked into a
fucking
room with nothing but our
150
thoughts.
Yeah.
Thoughts are scary.
I think
man.
it's the tall ceilings. It allows us to expand
It's
on our and question our existence.
True. It is fun. It's been a good couple episodes,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
It keeps you grounded because I mean, if you weren't able to think like this, then you'd just be living.
He'd be from Oklahoma.
Well, I mean, yeah, fucking West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Any good carry
That's
out
listen,
you
that's
guys have had lately? Well, I don't want to get sick, so no one comes to this apartment except for Walker.
Socrates did all day. There wasn't a whole lot of
Fuck.
Greece except for having anal sex and wear a robe while thinking about shit.
Dude.
What did that say? I can't remember.
Actually, there's a philosopher, and it's gonna kick the shit out of me. I'm gonna have to post about it when I find out his name. But there was a philosopher that was the counter opposite of Socrates.
Oh,
that
it was
lived in a jug.
Yeah, it was oh, we learned about it in my philosophy class.
Yeah.
too.
Wait,
He's the dude. He's my dude. Like that's the guy that I take
repeat
inspiration
that.
from. So it was another philosopher that was in hand with
Socrates,
Socrates.
Aristotle.
No, it wasn't
No,
Aristotle.
Aristotle was his
Oh.
apprentice.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was
Okay.
literally just some dude that had given away all his worldly possessions and lived like a dog.
Yeah.
That was his
Yeah.
existential existence, was living like a dog.
Oh shit.
So he would shit in the street, he'd masturbate in public. Like this dude was what you would think of like a homeless dude on drugs going fucking crazy
Oh, wait,
in Town
no.
Square.
Aristotle would have been
It
it would have been Socrates, Plato,
because he
Then
was in
Aristotle,
Greece.
right? Because
But
they were
think
all
so.
apprentices to each other.
but it's
somehow.
none of those people.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the guy's name that
I
it
I
was.
want to look that up too.
But Socrates used to refer to him a lot because he would always, in contrast, he was the more nihilistic version of Socrates, to where what the fuck, why does it matter? Nothing matters. You're in this existence, but he would still
Yeah,
match
I can't
Socrates
remember what the fuck
in his
name was.
existentialism.
Diogenes.
That was his name.
Yes, dude,
Diogenes
and
of
that
Sinope.
phenomenal. Like, do if you haven't, do research on him because he's right up there, dude. And it's a shame that he hasn't been recognized as much as he should have been. Because Caesar fucking leaned on that dude like a motherfucker.
Well, we learned about all of them in my philosophy class.
Yeah.
Also, if not that anyone here is in college or taking college classes, but I strongly recommend taking a philosophy 101 class. Like, even if it's just the basics, it is going to expand your horizon on your thought process immensely. It's going to make you question a lot of shit, and it's a lot of fun.
It also makes you realize that nobody knows shit about nothing.
Yep. And my favorite part of that whole entire, okay, this is going to sound really fucked up, but I don't care. My favorite part, besides the teacher, she was great. She was amazing. Right. And besides like the fact of like what I learned and how I learned how I love philosophy from this class is my first day walking into this class. I sat in the second row, right? Because I knew, hey, I'm going to love this class. First row was taken. I'm going second row because I want to be a part of this class. And I look to the front left of me, and I see two girls sitting front row center. And I go, oh, wait a second. They both had Bibles. Super religious. And I go,
picked the wrong class.
and I figured out in my own brain, I'm like, why would they choose to sit up front? Oh my God, they're going to debate her on this topic. Because I knew God was going to be a debate at some point, right? Our teacher was she was a fucking wizard with how she navigated the religious realm.
Mm-hmm.
And when we finally got to that topic, I was elated. Like I was smiling going to class because I was so excited to hear the refutes and hear them get shot down. These poor girls, they had to have had a crisis. They had to, because she didn't shoot them down. No, she did not. She didn't disprove anything. She didn't say they were wrong. She didn't fight them on anything. She simply asked questions, and they asked about those questions, and she answered. I have such a boner for this story. and they would try and refute her and say, "Oh, well, but that's not right." And I can't think of any of the examples right now because I was just so enthralled with like what was going on. But they would like refute it and say, "Oh, well, what about this though? Like, you can't say that God doesn't exist because of this." And she goes, "Yeah, that is an interesting thing." And actually, it's funny because that was brought up with, she would say like Plato or whoever. She'd say he would bring that up too. But then on the counterpart of that, the other question was, well, if you say that that's true, then what makes this not true? And these girls were fucking lost.
It's the double downs.
They were
man.
lost. And I was like, because it was basically,
You're like, oh, you poor things.
I remember the topic, at least. The topic was on God being omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. And the belief of that from most religions is that he is.
Yeah.
And then, okay, but here's the philosophical questioning behind that, because basically the questioning behind it is he cannot be one and the other. he can only be this or none, or he can't be any, or he can be all. But here's the questioning. Here's the questioning that refutes every single one of those theories. So it was like she would like answer their question in the way they would want, and be like, "Oh my God, yeah, see, exactly, he is real, he is real."
But
And
make
then
them
she go, "But then
past.
here's the question
Mhm.
to why that could be wrong, because if you believe that, then you can't believe this."
Yeah.
And it was like just watching a crisis occur, and I was like, "This is my favorite class of all time, and I want to
I
do
wanna
this."
be this
That's what
teacher.
keeps me alive.
I
dude.
We
went
should
up-
get that teacher on this podcast.
I went up to my teacher after class, like after the end of the semester. I went up to her. I said, "Is there any way? Like, I've looked. There's no way I can like major in this, is there?" And she goes, "No, unfortunately, like our school doesn't have that." She said, "We do have a 200 level class,
Mhm.
and then I go into like other like similar
Expanses
philosophy
into that.
classes, but
Yeah.
they're not like strictly philosophy." I was like, "Fuck, I want to do this. This is amazing. This is
Dude.
so much fun. You just go home and question everything at
But
all
that
times."
comes with knowledge, dude. It's looking past what is tangible in our existence. It's processing things on a totally different level than the normal.
Yeah, because
view.
you have to look at everything outside of the box. You cannot look at anything. Like, how do you live a normal life after that, though?
I feel like that's something that's going to be happening a lot more, especially with people stuck at home and with nothing else to do. They're going to be thinking
You think we're
about.
getting a lot of existential
Hell
crisis
yes.
It's either
going on?
Hell
they're going to be
yes.
thinking about it, they're going to be locking down their convictions.
I think they're going to be thinking about it a lot
yeah,
more.
I see. That could be it too. I
Yeah.
think that we're gonna have a mass divide. I think
Yeah.
you're gonna have the people that are locked in on what their beliefs are, and now that there's no way for them to be refuted when they're home alone,
Yep.
they're now locked in on those. And you're also gonna have the other side of things, which is people like us, which are gonna be like, okay, maybe what we thought was not like maybe what we thought was wrong. Like,
Yeah.
what, are we wrong? What is? I think you're gonna see a big divide kind of between two groups.
I guess we'll see, but
It'll
there's
be
no way of proving
interesting.
it quite yet. But
I mean, we got at least 2 more months of this shit here.
Easily.
I think
For,
it'll
yeah,
be
for all of you that haven't
I think
found out yet, we have another extension on
we have
our
6 more days.
stay in
It
place.
was what, the 24th, and now it's
Yeah.
extended to the 30th
Yeah.
for the nation.
Yeah.
So
So
weird thing about the Corona thing. I went for a walk at Forest Preserve. It's crowded. Society shut down and people return to the woods. Strange. Yeah, actually, there was a massive problem with that, and down in Florida and over in California, they were having to shut down the beaches because too many people were going out and
Yeah.
doing those things. Like, it's great that you're trying to get back out in nature, but you're not practicing.
you're
social
defeating the purpose.
distancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
By looking for that isolation, you're finding yourself within tons of
yeah,
people that are also trying to do that.
Right.
guys, I got to head out for some more stuff, but
Yeah.
I'll catch you guys a little later.
Yeah,
Love you
buddy.
guys.
Bye, bye, Walker.
You guys need anything from me? Just hit me up.
Will do.
Money. Just kidding.
Are you going to have me some? That'd be great.
Yeah, no, we're gonna take some. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
but that is definitely that is a pretty tough consistency. Like you find it a lot where people want to break the monotony of staying in their fucking place for that social isolation and trying to find
Yeah.
something to pardon that time. But dude,
It's interesting.
you're defeating the purpose by going to places where people are present.
Yeah, I think now is the perfect time for people to learn more about themselves, become
Absolutely.
comfortable with themselves. Do meditation. Honestly, like,
Dude.
you can say it's a farce or whatever the fuck you want, but like, I've done it for years now, and not every day. I'm
Right.
nowhere near as active as say like your Russell Brand or something like that, but
Yeah.
I've definitely practiced, and it is you learn a lot about yourself. You learn about your surroundings. Like, you're gonna see more of like you're gonna just be more aware of everything around you and of yourself. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna become comfortable in your own flaws, which I think is really cool. I think that's one thing that people
Acceptance.
need. People need
Dude.
to be accepting of their flaws and be like voice them.
Yeah.
Like, I've like, okay, say relationship wise, there's been people that I have talked to, right?
Yeah.
And I have voiced, like, if they bring something up to me that
Yeah.
they see as maybe as an issue, I, instead of responding and reacting in a way that's like defensive, I pull back and I go, or maybe sometimes I do act defensively upright. I mean, or upfront, because that's a flaw that I have, is that I just react right
trigger
away.
effect,
But
yeah.
then I also sit back and go, okay, what part of that could be right and what part could be wrong? Like,
Yeah.
looking at myself, what part is right? And then I always make it aware that, like, okay, you're right. Like, that was a fault of mine. Like, I did that wrong. And I feel way better because I'm like, oh,
Dude, and
at least I know that I did that. You know, like, I know that that's my issue now, and now I can work on it. I can fix it.
and it's so funny that you use that specifically, because that was one of the realizations that I had coming out of this most recent. And obviously I won't dive into that shit.
Yeah,
'cause nobody
right.
wants to hear about that. But but that was one of the realizations that I had, is that I had more than a fucking handful of issues and tendencies and things like that I personally, I never registered as bad, because it was parts of me
Right.
that, in a relationships scenario, I continued to do, because I was by myself for X amount of time. It didn't matter, but
Right.
in a duo scenario, there's specific, unless it's established out the gate, they're like, hey, I don't like texting. Don't expect to get texts from me every 5 minutes. Like, I don't ever touch my phone, unless I'm doing stuff with a podcast or whatever's going on in that moment. And that was an issue in the past. And out the gate, I would get defensive because I was like, well, what the fuck? Like, I got stuff going on. I'm like, why are you freaking out?
Right.
And I noticed that there wasn't the level of normal patience that I had with the rest of my existence, with the rest of facing conflict and everything else that comes with sharing space or sharing, time with people, that you designate. I realized that was the issue that I had.
Yeah.
Was that defensive state where I would go immediately to attack mode. Like, what do you mean? Like, what the fuck's wrong with that? Like, well, why am I in the wrong here?
You try and justify your own actions.
Exactly. Because in my own perspective,
You felt like it was right.
yeah, that's what I've always done, and that's something that external stimulus and external exposure,
Right.
you lose that stuff until it's in your face, till it's an issue,
For sure. Sure.
So that's,
So what do you think, like right now, if you were to pick one thing, because we didn't really do skills this week, right?
Yeah.
So like, okay, one thing right now that for yourself you would like to work on. It's a tough question.
that is
It's
a
really
tough
tough
question.
because you're not just answering it to yourself, you're answering it to me
Yeah.
and other people on the internet.
I feel like the thing that I would try and really develop a stronger connection for is, I can't say understanding perspective, because I take pride in how transparent I can be with that, like understanding other people's sides, especially after, what I just talked about.
Right.
I've really, really fucking worked on that, but I think I have to start pulling away from my own moment. And I think I need to look at the broader spectrum of things, like events that are unfolding around me versus what's affecting me. Because right now I'm in this.
So focusing more on your environment rather than just, or focusing more
the effects
on
of everyone around me,
the societal
the
environment,
the communal standard,
rather than just your own personal environment.
Because initially, when this Corona thing first popped off, it started with, and I've been trying to do this for a while, but it's something that I've got a lot of ties in that, man. Like, I've got a lot of ties in this selfish, almost narcissistic end of things, to where it's like, if it affects me, then it's an issue, and
right. But that goes affect me.
Everything from politics to fucking, religion, to all of these facets of my life and existence.
So now you want to step away from, if it affects me, it's an issue, to if it's affecting a massive amounts of people, or if it's an actual issue.
The people that I care about, the people that I've involved in my life, the people that are still existent in this reality. Because I mean, in the larger picture of things, like, okay, dude that lives apartments like 6 down from us, ever gonna meet him? Probably not.
No.
Is he gonna matter in 2 years?
No.
So like, my perspective now is, why do I give a fuck about that guy?
Yeah.
But when this Corona thing started to kick up, I was thinking, or trying to think externally to this, because I was like, okay, whatever, I get sick. I'll try not to go around the people that I care about. Like, I'd isolate, like, my room, whatever, not to get you sick, not to get my family sick, my friends sick, that kind of shit. But as I've tried to, and like I said, this is a progressive thing. This is something I've been trying to work on for a long time.
For sure.
I've been trying to think of the bigger picture, like, because as of right now, at least, what I'm trying to hold on to is, I would try and take responsibility and think about the dude that's 6 fucking apartments down.
So how your actions would affect them?
Yeah. The reality around me versus just what I'm doing. And then letting everything else that at one point to me was unimportant.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what so and so thinks of me. I don't give, and that will still stand.
Right.
I'm going to produce things and let things out into the open as we're having this conversation, because this is something that's honestly kind of scary to talk about. But like,
yeah, but it's good to get it out. It makes the known real.
Yeah.
So it makes what you know inside your head and what's operating inside of your brain and the thoughts that you have when you're trying to sleep at night, it brings those to life and makes them an actual issue rather than just being inside your own head. Now they've been brought to fruition, and you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It actually is a thing. Like my big one that I'm working on right now for sure is like, I'm trying to find the happy medium between not giving a fuck about anything and like giving a fuck about the things that need to be given a fuck
Weird.
about. And like, because like, so, okay, big example, like in high school, especially since we're going like talking about scary things, high school, especially, and even into my 20s, like early 20s, like my biggest thing was like how people look and see me and how I'm
viewed in the
viewed
world
by my peers and by everything like that, and like maintaining a certain, I don't know, maintaining a certain stance on how my friends see me and everything. And now I'm at a point where I'm just like, I don't fucking care. I shouldn't say I'm at that point. I should say I'm trying to get to the point now where I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Your opinion is appreciated, but I don't give a shit. I want to do this. I'm going to do this, and I don't fucking care like what you think. But at the same time, I can't take that mentality into all of my life, because then I'm going to be a hobo.
Yeah, you'll be disconnected.
Yeah, I'm going to be a homeless person because I just don't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's certain things that I do have to care about, like this podcast and everything like that. I care how this is perceived because I want this to succeed.
Yeah.
My own personal appearance, I'm just starting to not give a shit. I don't care. I'm going to do what I think is going to be a lot of fun to me and what I think is going to be cool, because it's my one life to live it, and I just got to live it and do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to wear what's comfortable. I'm going to not fucking cut my hair because I just don't give a shit anymore. And I've always wanted to see what I would look like with long hair, and I don't fucking care anymore. Like, those are just smaller things.
For sure.
I just trying it out. I don't see what it's about. But it's like finding that medium between giving a shit about certain things and not giving a shit about certain things. It's a very weird, this is a weird realm that I'm in right now. And then like also looking back at myself of like, why did you act that way? Like, why were you that person? Like, think about how much, and I shouldn't think about how much time I wasted trying to act like something I wasn't.
Right.
I shouldn't do that. But like, you do think about it at times where you're like, wow, why did I waste my time trying to like act like a fucking idiot,
dude,
just to be cool for my friends or whatever? Like,
that
I just don't give a shit anymore. That's a crisis right there. That's a crisis, because it's like, whoa,
because like
you get embarrassed about yourself in your own head. You're like,
dude,
I'm fucking embarrassed for you that you acted the way that you acted. Like,
I mean, there's a handful of people that we grew up with, you know, especially during those like transcendent years. I don't feel like that's the right way to describe it, but the years of development,
the developmental years, yeah,
that we were very different people. And I've tried to explain this, and you're obviously, you know, we've known each other and been a part of each other's lives.
We've seen our growth,
and so there's a mutual understanding for that time period. But you know, the people that we'll use high school for an example, like very, very different people, very different perspectives, very, very different view of what's important.
Just
and
talk differently, act differently. Like, yeah. And obviously everybody goes through that. Everybody has developmental years. Everybody has the years that they're worried about what people think of them.
Yeah.
We all go through it.
It's a social standard.
But the problem is to try and break that mold, because a lot of people still care about that. I mean, that's why you have vanity on Instagram. That's why you have all of this other shit.
Yeah.
That's out there. And it's just
acknowledgement. It's
weird, man.
It is. And finding that line to be drawn, especially with what you were talking about, that's incredibly tough, because I remember trying to find that distinction as well, to where there's that connectivity to your surroundings and the things around you and the people and everything else, but at the same time, bypassing all of that social need, social want.
For sure.
Because I mean, we mentioned it in a previous episode about, like, one of my biggest insecurities that I have is that need to be accepted by the people that I've involved in my life.
Right.
I don't give a fuck about, again, dude, 6 apartments down, but with you, with our group of friends, with my family, there's this ongoing want to be accepted.
Oh, for sure.
Even though it's there.
And I think it's almost like it's like this inherent trait of people, like, they see them and their friends, they see them and their family, and everyone does this. They view it as a hierarchy. And you want to be as close to the top as you can. You want to be as close to the top of that hierarchy, that pyramid, with your friends, with your family, and it causes you to really get into your own head of, like, okay, but I'm not doing, this person's doing this much better than me, and we pace ourselves based on other people's progressions. Yeah. And it's like, you can't do that. Everybody's got their own story to tell and everything. Like me, okay. Another big thing of mine that I've noticed in recent years, like, or that I've brought to light. I've always noticed it, but something that I've brought to light in recent years is, like, I know for a fact that no matter what job I work, I will never be happy. It's just, and it's not, and I don't mean what I mean by that is that no matter what job I'm working, that I'm not self-employed, I will forever just get bored, or I will get tired of it, and I will not want to do it anymore.
You've never been a person for complacency.
But then on the same token, I also view myself and say that, okay, that's fine, but then you change that and become self-employed. But I also think, and whether it's too lazy or too erratic on my ideas, that I can't focus enough to maintain one self-employed road.
Right.
And that's what makes me so comfortable with the podcast and with the YouTube channel, is because that is one thing that I've looked at and I've gone, wow, we've done this for a whole year consecutively. Like, this has lasted as much as almost all of my jobs that I've ever worked, except for one. And it's like, it's something that's consistent, and it's something that I need, and it's something that focuses on at some point being self-employed.
Yeah.
And that's why I work so hard on this, because this is the one thing that I've finally seen in my life that I, like, stick with.
Yeah.
And no matter what other crazy ideas I come up with, or what other crazy fucking jobs I want to work, this is one that I know at the end of the day, I'm always going to come back to week in and week out. So that's nice, because otherwise I am all over the fucking place. And I know for a fact, Johnny, if you're still on here, I know for a fact that this annoys the shit out of you and Mom. Like, I guarantee it does. This annoys my fucking friends. This annoys everybody. Like, I am so all over the fucking place with what I want to do with my life, what my ideas are for what, this week I'm going to take this class, or I'm going to learn something about this. And part of it's off of me being wanting to learn new things, and part of it's based off of me being an erratic asshole who doesn't know what the fuck they want to do. And that's why I find so much comfort in the podcast, is because this is something that I know I enjoy.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. It's just, I don't care as long as you're having fun. See, and I appreciate that. Thank you. But it's just, like, I know, especially Mom, I know it drives her fucking nuts because I just can't focus on one thing. I'm just always wanting to learn something new. I just want to try something new. And it's like, it's like I'm throwing, and my philosophy is I could throw one fishing pole, one fishing line out, and I could catch maybe one fish. Or I could throw 20 fucking fishing lines out, and maybe I catch one fish, maybe I catch 10 fish.
You're scrambling back and forth from all that.
I'm scrambling. I'm going all over the place. I'm losing fish on this one because I can't fucking keep track because I'm too focused on this fishing pole. But at some point, my thought is that if I throw all of these fishing lines out, one of them's got to hook the big fucking lunker, right?
You have
one
more
of them's
chances.
got to get the lunker on board. That's my thought process.
Yeah.
Money will come later. Exactly. And that's why I'm comfortable with this. I love this. This is a lot of fun. We've all said many, many times it's therapeutic for us. Like,
absolutely.
This It's something that I can come back to week in and week out. And do I hope that it becomes something bigger? Fuck yeah. I hope.
Dude,
My dream is that this becomes just the biggest full-time fucking thing that I could ever think of.
Yep.
But I hit these stalemates where I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm lacking the creativity this week, or I'm lacking like the initiative this week to get that out there. And it's like, so then I think about something different. Okay, well, if I can't do this, then what can I do? Like, what? I'm always trying to do something different that week to try and figure something out, to hope something hooks. It's just a weird, we should do a tree service together. See, and that would be fun too. Like some weeks I'm like, fuck, that would be so much fun to like go out and cut trees down and shit. Other weeks I'm like, that sounds fucking awful. That sounds like something that I would never want to do, and I fucking don't like it. Like, let me just stick with what I'm doing now. It's weird. That's what I think. That's my day in, day out. And it changes all the time. It could change in literally a 24-hour period. Sometimes it changes months later, and I go, oh, okay, I don't like this anymore. Sometimes it changes weeks later. And sometimes, here's the other crazy shit. Like bartending. I had a big passion for bartending when I first started.
I remember.
It was a lot of fun. Dude. I loved it.
Got the shaker, you got the fucking spoons, everything within like a week's period.
Yeah. And now I'm like, it's okay. It's fun. It's not something I want to do for the rest of my life. And I don't know. Do I get burnt out, or do I just get fucking bored with it? Like, I think it's ADHD. I think that's what it's fucking ADHD. Not if you do it with the right equipment, then it's just doing fun shit together. Yeah, dude. True that. It's just like, I don't know, man. I'm all over the fucking place. I don't know. I know one thing, and it's this. This is what I know. This is what I like. This is what I want to be a full-time thing.
Dude.
It's just making it a reality. You hear that too?
I do.
They're loud as shit down there. Sorry. We don't have paper thin walls, but like we're hearing a lot of conversations.
I think I think it like echoes up from
they're
that
downstairs
stairwell
or something. Yeah,
they're downstairs.
But yeah, I don't know.
They're coming for us.
Yeah, it's just a lot of. That's a big flaw of mine that I've definitely noticed, and that I'm trying to work on. And like I said, I'm always going to come back to this. This is my go-to thing is YouTube and podcasting. Dude. Because it allows for creativity. It allows for me to not act, but it allows for me to express myself, creatively and everything. And that's why I liked acting so much when I did Chicago Med and everything. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. But I was also a small peg. Like I wasn't like, I wasn't doing my own creative things. I was just the small peg. And obviously you have to start somewhere. Don't get me wrong. But would I do that again? Fuck yeah. I love doing that. That's a lot of fun. But I would do that and this. Like if I could, I would do our YouTube stuff, right? Make a career out of our YouTube stuff. And I would do that shit part-time, like just for fun if I could. Yeah. Like just go do or do our own, make our own skit. Like when we made the skit, that was the most fun. I've had so much fun doing that. That was so much fucking fun. Like editing it, filming it, putting direction, where like telling you guys like what to do and where to go and how to light it and everything else. I fucking loved that. So it's just, I don't know, man.
Which we're gonna talk about what we talked about post. We'll post this and post recording the main episode.
For the 100th video? Yeah. Is it going to be okay, we'll talk about it. Never mind.
So,
hey, how can I contact you about voiceover work? Actually, you can hit us up at, let me double check. I just got to make sure that the email's right. It is, sorry, give me 1 sec. I got to check my email and make sure that it's the right one that I'm giving. Okay, so it's www.ltwpodcast@gmail.com. That's the one you can reach us at. That's obviously our YouTube email or our company email address that you can reach out to us by. And I check that date like regularly. So it comes straight to my phone and everything. So yep, that's where you can reach us at. But yeah, otherwise that's my rant. I kind of went off for a little bit. Sorry.
No, wait.
I just got into the topic and I was like, no, don't ever it's coming. I'm bringing it to light.
Well, because I mean, like the way that I view this is kind of reinstating why,
I'll type it up.
Yeah.
Gmail, got it.
It kind of reinstates for me like what it is, not to get too sappy, but like why the fuck we're friends. Like we have very, very similar but opposing personalities and viewpoints in existence.
Oh, for sure.
But like that, just the fact that you're able and we are both able to reflect, which is a huge thing, dude, because there's people there that live their entire lives with just the same existence, the same perspective,
and they never go deep. They don't go below the
surface
level.
Question why.
I think everyone does on their brain.
Yeah.
for sure. I don't think they go about trying to fix it or trying to answer
No.
the question, but definitely,
No.
I think people get into their own head. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
I think that's a part of what causes some depression.
Yeah.
You know, not all, but I think
And
that's
stress and
why,
anxiety.
yeah,
and all that
you know,
shit.
because people are afraid to go beyond
Yeah.
surface level. But anyways, go on.
it's you know it kind of falls in that mentality of like you want to be a smart person, you hang out with smart people. You want to be
Right.
a strong person, you hang out with strong people.
right?
And
Surround
that
yourselves with the ones that you want to be like. Yeah,
exactly.
obviously.
And that I feel like that has come through with spades, especially with the people that we surround ourselves with. I mean, yeah, we have tons of people that come from all different types of walks of life, but
I think that's a key. That's definitely a key thing. Is we
Yeah.
surround ourselves with all these different people, walks of life, because we like being put into those different parts of life and seeing what
Dude,
they're like.
it's that exposure.
I think
It's getting that perspective.
I think if there's any type of person, like if you could put us into a category of what kind of like, you have the people that they're the money makers. You have the people that are the I don't want to say low lives, but you have people that are like they know what they want and that's just what they're gonna do. You have
the bare bones.
the bare bones people. You have, you know, the in betweens and stuff like that. But for us, I think we're definitely on the the best way I can describe it is like an explorer.
Yeah.
Like we're just kind of here to see what everybody's about and what like, oh, we got Walker. Walker is this man is a goddamn wizard when it comes to
Dude.
creating business. Like the guy is a fucking genius when it comes to it. Like
Yeah.
no joke. Every time I've worked with this kid, he just gets it. He knows the entrepreneur life, and it's so cool to have him around because I learned so much from him. And it's like, but then also I have people that I'm friends with who live in the town they grew up. I mean, we have a friend who lives in the town he grew up in,
Yeah.
and who knows if he'll stay there, but he's there now. He's happy. He's content with life, and it's nice to have that aspect of
Yeah.
life as well. It's just very interesting
Yeah.
to see how people live.
It
You know what
is.
I mean? And it's like, I think why we've been friends for so long is because
We're
you know,
both assholes.
Yeah, we're definitely both assholes. But you never you never want to be the smartest person in your friend group, right?
Mm.
But what's cool about our friend group is I don't think neither of us, we are both smart in our own aspects of
Yeah.
life. Neither of us is okay, so like I don't know what the best way to describe it is, but neither of us, two assholes in a pod, exactly, two assholes in a pod. But I think like there's certain things that you're way more intelligent than me on, and there's certain things that I'm more intelligent on. And so
Absolutely.
it's like this perfect equilibrium of like, all right, well, neither of us are really the smartest in the room. We're both kind of like just learning,
Just lobbing trivia where we can.
Like, oh yeah, you think that's cool? Well,
Like-
did you know that koalas have chlamydia
Yeah.
and like 99% of them?
Playing yards with fucking barroom trivia.
So I think that's like, you know, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And that's
It's a-
why we
it's a good
surround ourselves
dynamic.
with other smart people. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
It's that
Yeah.
you know what? It's gonna sound cliche, but it's literally just surrounding ourselves with jack of all trades.
yeah, just the different walks
Dude.
of life to see what they're all about.
Yeah.
Spewing a lot of bullshit. That's what we like doing, dude. We're all
Dude,
about bullshit.
This is the most, you know, exposed I've ever made myself. in here.
Same.
So I'm really glad that we're able to establish that, you know, I'm just shitting everywhere. I
I'm
really,
glad that you think I'm just trying to bring up content when really I'm actually being as genuine as I've ever been. on
I've
this
choked
fucking
back
shit.
tears, but this interrogation light hasn't
Yeah,
you know, shown it.
we're sitting here
So-
being as vulnerable as we possibly can to the fucking internet.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is just content.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
It's all right.
I want to go fucking die. No, it's just yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's been a fucking hell of a ride. It has.
So
And
far, yeah.
I've you know,
We're only
even
a quarter of the way through.
dude, but even like with that self-reflection, like I can't complain in any facet.
I'm just excited to see where the next 20 plus years takes us.
Oh fuck
Like
yeah.
what we end up doing.
Dude,
I
it's
think in
gonna be
my
it's gonna be nuts.
40s. I'm hoping that I'm like, well, 30s. They say is like when you kind of feel more comfortable and like what you want to do and everything. So hopefully that fucking comes up. But who
Where
knows?
that
I might
bloom
never.
has happened and
And I
kinda
might
just-
never get that to that point. And so I'm trying to make myself comfortable with it now that hey,
Yeah.
you may just never be satisfied.
you're just insatiable.
and you're just like
You know?
it could happen, but hopefully in 10 years, we're going to have the WWLTW studios, or it'll be called something different.
Productions,
And it'll be Productions and Studios. We'll have a fucking whole place worked out.
An office with a banner. But a really cheap banner.
Well, yeah, we couldn't make it. I would like to, I think Barstool Sports, how they did it.
Oh, fuck
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like how they started from just this dude from fucking Boston or wherever the fuck he's from.
Dude.
And he just starts this giant thing. It's just so many things involved in it now. That'd be cool. Something like that.
It'd be a good time.
But we'll see. Anyways, we have been on here for almost 2 hours now, and that was not expected. We just kind of went into some really deep territory there at the end. Well, the whole last hour, basically. So, what?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're wearing the same like shirts as we did during our first time lapse when we were in the closet.
No.
I'm almost positive.
I'm going to look at our time lapse right now. Damn, what? No way.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. I'm almost positive.
Plan that. Let me look. Hold on. Oh, we have 73 subscribers. Thank you, whoever's have subscribed to us. You guys are the best. Okay. Extra credit show. Where is it?
I can't remember if you were wearing a t-shirt or if you were.
Oh, I was in a t-shirt in our first time lapse. I was in it looks like my G5 t-shirt. You were in that though. You were definitely in that. It was in a closet. In the closet. God, so funny. And
fucking 50 episodes ago.
We had fucking USB microphones. Oh my God. You got a subscriber today too? Fuck yeah, nice. It's all because of that video. What up? But yeah, look at us now. Like that's cool too. Is it even though we haven't we're not making money, obviously. We're making $20-some a month or whatever off of this, and that's cool.
That's going right back into this.
Yeah, it literally every penny has gone right back into the show. Yeah. But what's cool, I'll subscribe, Johnny. Now it's 2. Hell yeah, what up? But what's cool is to see like we have our own equipment. I mean, we have our own high quality production equipment now. Like this is everything that we are recording with now is what almost it's like the standard for podcasts nowadays. Like it's and some of them were even above. I mean, the only thing we could do better is our mixer could be the audio caster or it's called the audio caster or whatever, and that's like that does like
digital adjustments.
It does sound bites and shit like that on there. Gotcha, so that's cool. But otherwise, like
accessory shit.
We have just fucking just outrageously. There's over $1,000 worth of equipment that we've been able to purchase through this. So it's just and stuff that's been gifted and everything like that too. And just look up Johnny. Okay. Trump knows to power. Just look up Johnny Wishbone Excavator. Oh yeah. Or just click on Johnny Wishbone's name and it should come up.
Yeah. It should bring his channel up.
Yeah. Definitely subscribe. Everybody subscribe to each other. Let's all just get subscribers and get this going. Get this shit on the road. But anyways.
Free love in here,
free
baby.
Love. Well, what do you think, man? I think
we're good.
We hit a bunch of shit today.
Yeah, we did.
We did 2 episodes worth. Shameless plug on your podcast.
It's always welcome, man.
We're cool with it. You guys subscribe to us. We'll fucking plug the hell out of anyone.
Follow for follow, baby.
Fuck yeah. But anyways, we're gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for joining us, especially you guys that stayed for the whole fucking 2 hours. You guys are nuts.
Yeah. 5.
Hashtag not sponsored. We appreciate the absolute fuck out of you guys. We're gonna keep bringing you all these episodes. 1 year down. Fucking 30 more to go. We're just gonna keep, no matter how much the channel changes or whatever happens in the next coming years. Of if we change, we're still gonna have a channel. It'll be up. We'll figure out a way to make it work. Stay playing. Yeah, Walker. Oh, he's not here. But anyways, thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for liking us on the YouTubes or liking our videos and subscribing and commenting. You all know about the Patreon, patreon.com/WWLTW podcast. Thank you all to our current Patreon members. We are bringing you guys more content slowly but surely. And any new ones, we appreciate you as well. Teespring.com has all of our new merch on it. It's got our mug with a mugs on it and all that shit, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you next week, ladies and gents. You guys stay golden and stay healthy.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Mm.
Bye.